Chapter 449. Medicine King Hall. After a series of fierce battles, many pavilions had collapsed, the ground was riddled with holes, corpses were everywhere, and blood flowed like a river. The first batch of war creatures had been executed, and the Imperial Guards had suffered heavy losses. Nearly 2,000 of them had died, and the rest were injured. Dozens of the Death Legion's 1,000 men had also died. This was the end of Lu Ji's greatest efforts. War creatures were devoid of humanity. They had taken the beast transformation pill, and their combat power had increased greatly. They fought without any regard for their lives, and they could drag many people down with them. Now, whether it was the Imperial Guards or the Death Legion, they had all retreated to the periphery of the Medicine King Hall. If anyone from the Medicine King Hall rushed out, they would immediately capture them. Many of the pharmacists in the Medicine King Hall were used to being high and mighty. They were not restrained, but Yang Jinan was not polite to them at all. He killed anyone who disobeyed, causing a portion of them to surrender obediently. In fact, these pharmacists did not have a good time in the Medicine King Hall. They were forced to stay in the Medicine King Hall under the threat of Yao Yanhai, Yao Lingyu, and the others. Now, the Medicine King Hall was at the end of the road. If they resisted, they would only die. It was better to surrender. The Imperial Court had sent more than 20,000 men. In addition to the Imperial Guards, there were also people from the matriculation camp. There were also some generals who came to help Yang Jinan destroy the Medicine King Hall. The destruction of the Medicine King Hall was completely foreseeable, but when the Great Guardian and Second Guardian appeared, there was an additional variable. These two were existences in the divine fish realm. The power they possessed was extremely terrifying and powerful. They became the biggest variable in this battle. Who would have thought that the Medicine King Hall still had such a foundation after the white-browed Eagle Emperor was transferred away? Fortunately, Yang Wu's powerful combat power still made people look forward to it. He killed the Second Guardian. However, Yang Wu's ability was limited. Killing the Second Guardian did not mean that he could kill the Great Guardian. On the contrary, he was almost killed by the Great Guardian. In order to save him, Meng Bingxue used the last of her strength to block the Great Guardian. Her body was penetrated by the Great Guardian, and blood splashed on Yang Wu's face. Originally, Yang Wu didn't have much power left to fight. He was going to use his trump card as a last resort. However, he was one step too late. Meng Bingxue was severely injured. Yang Wu roared. 2 pills were quickly refined in the Qinquan space within his body. These 2 pills were not healing pills. Instead, they had been prepared by Yang Wu before he came to destroy the pavilion of the Medicine King. They were the Speed Pill and the Explosive King Pill, 2 top-grade King Pills. One was for increasing one's speed, while the other was for increasing one's cultivation level in a short period of time. The Extreme Speed Pill could increase any king's speed by more than a few times. This kind of pill was very useful for escaping or in battle. However, it could only last for half an hour. The Violent King Pill was able to increase a king's strength by 1 level. For example, a low-level king would be able to increase his strength to an intermediate-level king, and an intermediate-level king would be able to increase his strength to a high-level king. This kind of increase was not like the Earth King Pill, but like the Extreme Speed Pill, it would only last for half an hour before dropping back to its original level. Apart from that, the user's battle strength would decrease greatly, and they would not be able to use martial arts for at least half a month. Yang Wu didn't choose the Earth King Pill to break through immediately. He wanted to continue to increase his cultivation level steadily. Although the Explosive King Pill had side effects, it could be healed with enough time. In the long run, it wouldn't shake his foundation. Therefore, he chose the Earth King Pill. Originally, he wanted to test his limits. Unless it was absolutely necessary, he wouldn't use these 2 pills. However, it was because he didn't use these 2 pills that Meng Bingxue was injured. When these 2 pills were refined by the Supreme 9 Mysteries formula, Yang Wu's strength increased rapidly. Yang Wu punched towards the Head Guardian's head with a powerful force. A fist containing the Tao of Death rushed out like a dragon. The Head Guardian's pupil shrank. He clenched his fists and punched towards Yang Wu. Meng Bingxue fell to the ground. Little Hei's shadow appeared quietly. A gentle force was generated and took Meng Bingxue away from the battlefield. Girl, don't die in such a hurry. Little Wu will go crazy. Little Hei murmured and spat out a dan into Meng Bingshue's mouth, saving her life. Bang! Bang! Yang Wu and the head guardian punched each other with their fists. It was just like how he fought the second guardian not long ago. This time, Yang Wu slowly changed from the weak to the weak. In the beginning, Yang Wu was sent flying by the head guardian. He couldn't hurt the head guardian at all. However, as time passed, Yang Wu became fiercer and fiercer. The power in his dantian burst out, pushing his cultivation level to the level of a top-level king. His strength was several times stronger than before. It was even 10 times stronger than before. He was now able to compete with the head guardian. How did this brat become so strong, as if he was injected with chicken blood? He couldn't have also used the beast transformation pill, right? The Great Protector revealed a hint of surprise as he thought to himself. The head guardian couldn't figure out how Yang Wu became so strong. He didn't know that Yang Wu was an alchemist. The head guardian didn't have time to think too much. He was a middle-level heavenly fish. Even if Yang Wu's combat strength increased again, he was confident that he could kill Yang Wu. He activated a large amount of corrosive poison and attacked Yang Wu with all his strength. The roiling corrosive poison filled the air, and a dark cloud appeared in the sky. It was a terrifying scene. If it were any other heavenly fish realm expert, they wouldn't be able to withstand the corrosive poison and would be defeated. Yang Wu was immune to poison. He wasn't afraid of the corrosive poison at all. His way of death, fist intent, and battle blood talent were all activated. His strength was still rising steadily. In the end, it stopped at the level of a top-level king. The Xian Qi in his body and the surrounding Xian Qi merged with him. His speed had reached an unbelievable level. He was now on par with the head guardian and was no longer suppressed. Barbarian elephant fist. Dragon turtle sea turning technique. Yang Wu didn't hold back at all. He attacked with all his strength. He wanted to fight to the death with the head guardian. Of course, the head guardian couldn't show any weakness. The beast armor on his body became thicker and thicker. His arms were like invincible war weapons. He kept waving them, destroying all of Yang Wu's power. He inflicted heavy injuries on Yang Wu again and again. Yang Wu's immortal physique was enough of an advantage. After being hammered, he could still recover quickly. On the other hand, the head guardian was at a disadvantage. Yang Wu was hit 3 times, while the head guardian was hit once. The head guardian's defense was also powerful. However, Yang Wu's fist intent contained the way of death. It robbed him of his vitality and destroyed his internal organs. Yang Wu attacked the head guardian with all his might. The head guardian's hostility was getting stronger and stronger. The two super experts were destroying each other. Yang Wu's body was almost deformed. He was covered in blood, and many of his bones were broken. However, his eyes were still full of killing intent. If I don't kill you, I swear I'm not a human. Meng Bingxue was his woman. She had been silently sacrificing for him. Now that she was seriously injured, it would be strange if he didn't go berserk. The head guardian's body was being destroyed. His injuries were getting worse. He didn't have the immortal physique like Yang Wu. It wouldn't be easy for him to recover. If this continued, he would definitely lose. He didn't want to delay any longer. He started to use his most powerful attack to kill Yang Wu. Ultimate Beast Transformation. The head guardian swallowed 10 beast transformation pills in one go. He endured the power of his ultimate beast transformation. His body grew bigger and looked more ferocious. His strength increased by another level. He spat out sound waves, which made Yang Wu's blood boil and his eardrums burst. When Yang Wu was forced to retreat, the head guardian rushed over and grabbed Yang Wu. He opened his mouth and bit down on Yang Wu's neck. Ah! The head guardian's sharp teeth pierced into Yang Wu's neck. He let Yang Wu bleed and sucked Yang Wu's blood. He wanted to bite Yang Wu to death on the spot. It was truly a beast's nature. Because the head guardian's corrosive power filled the area, it was difficult for others to see what was happening in the battle. No one saw the danger Yang Wu was in. Only Shou Ho, who had recovered his spirit, saw the situation through his fiery golden eyes. Shoho didn't think twice. He activated his bloodline power again and changed into his battle form. He rushed up to the sky. "Let go, my big brother." The skinny monkey-like figure roared in shock. He gathered all his power in his eyes and shot out 2 dense fireballs at the Great Guardian. The 2-eye techniques broke through the roiling corrosive poison and landed on the head guardian. Shoho thought that even if he couldn't kill the head guardian, he could at least create some trouble for him and give his big brother a chance to save himself. However, he was wrong. The head guardian's defensive power wasn't something he could break through easily. Just as he was about to give it his all to continue attacking the head guardian, a dense death energy was released and enveloped the area. He was so frightened that he fled as fast as he could. The Way of Death. Yang Wu had used the Way of Death many times against the head guardian, but he hadn't been able to cause much damage. It wasn't that the Way of Death was useless, but that the head guardian's cultivation level was much higher than his. Moreover, the head guardian's soul was extremely firm and wouldn't be easily affected. However, it was different now. The two of them were in close proximity. The head guardian wanted to bite him, so he completely unleashed the Way of Death. He didn't hold back at all. The terrifying death energy began to rob the head guardian of his life force. Before this, Yang Wu didn't dare to unleash the full power of the Way of Death. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to control this power. Even after obtaining the God's Court Dao flower, he still didn't dare to unleash it casually. Now, in order to deal with the head guardian, he was going all out. This time, the head guardian was beginning to be affected. His beast form was supported by his life force. Suddenly, a large amount of his life force was flowing away. His strength was rapidly decreasing. He panicked. "Accept the death of 1,000 cuts," Yang Wu roared. He reached out with a hand of fire covered in blue demoness and grabbed the head guardian's heart. He began his fiercest counterattack. Chapter 450. Yang Wu's claw pierced through the Great Guardian's defense, and his finger bone dug into the Great Guardian's heart. Blue demoness drilled into his body like a fairy. Blue demoness burning power was very terrifying. It burned the Great Guardian's heart on the spot, further injuring him and causing his combat power to drop again. Yang Wu did not have it easy either. The Great Guardian's mouth loosened, but he still gave Yang Wu a sharp counterattack. He spat out a mouthful of corrosive power at Yang Wu, poisoning Yang Wu to death. Yang Wu was too close to the Great Guardian, so he was hit by the corrosive power. He did not care and continued to attack the Great Guardian with red eyes. "How dare you hurt my woman? You're destined to have a bad end," Yang Wu shouted. His other fist that contained blue demoness smashed into the Great Guardian's lower abdomen, causing his scales to crack. "You're a monster that is neither human nor beast. You don't have the right to live anymore. Go down and meet the King of Hell." Along with Yang Wu's voice, the Great Guardian's lower body was kicked hard, causing him to be unable to have any descendants. "This tumor of yours is very scary, isn't it? I'll help you remove it." Under the influence of the path of death, the Great Guardian's heart was burned by blue demoness. It meant that his life was coming to an end. Even though he was a mid-level heavenly fish with amazing combat power, he could not withstand the killing power of Yang Wu's trump card. The Great Guardian was crippled by Yang Wu. His limbs were torn off by Yang Wu, and his blood splattered in the air. I'll drag you down with me, even if I die." The Great Guardian's vitality was still very strong. He roared and carried out the final self-destruction. Bang! The Great Guardian's power was shocking. Even if it was at its lowest point, the instant explosion could still destroy many things. Yang Wu was the first to bear the brunt. He was sent flying by the explosion, and his body was severely injured. "Did you see that? I've avenged you," Yang Wu thought to himself as he still retained his powerful consciousness. At the same time, the battle blood in his body circulated even faster, as if it had been affected by the violent King Pill's power. Not only did his battle strength not decrease because of his injuries, but it also remained in an incomparably plentiful state. At this moment, Yaoling Yu came out with the Beast Army. "My Medicine King Pavilion is finished. I want the entire King City to be buried with it." Yao Lingyu said with a sinister expression as he rode on a mount. The second batch of war creatures numbered 3,000, and each of them had already consumed a beast transformation pill. They had all reached the King Realm, and this was a terrifying battle team. In addition, those who did not shapeshift had already made their preparations and rushed towards the outside of the Medicine King Pavilion. They would take the shape-shifting pill when they got close to the Imperial Guards. Only by swallowing the beast transformation pills in batches could they sustain a powerful battle and destroy the entire royal city. Yao Lingyu had already thrown caution to the wind. Yang Jinan saw the situation from afar and ordered his 3,000 archers and 2,000 crossbowmen. Fire! Quickly fire! Kill all of these war creatures! Xiao xiao! Suddenly, thousands of arrows rained down on the war creatures. The power of these arrows was not ordinary. Every arrow was smeared with oil and fire, ready to burn the war creatures. This overwhelming power enveloped the war creatures, but they would not sit still and wait for death. Their strength increased explosively, and they blasted out powerful attacks to block the arrows and avoid being injured. Even so, there were still war creatures who were injured by the arrows. This was because they had lost their rationality and did not defend themselves. They only knew how to attack fiercely. Most of the war creatures had astonishing battle strength. Once they charged through this wave of attacks, it would be the Imperial Guard's turn to be in danger. Yang Jinan had no choice but to shout to the other kings, "We'll do our best to stop them." Su Yinshui raised his staff and shouted, "That's right. We can't let them enter the city, or else the commoners will suffer." Responding to Yang Jinan's words, Su Yinshui rushed forward. Soon after, the other kings joined the battle, including Wan Lanxin, Chao Jianda, and the other generals. "Very good. Come on, all of you. I can exhaust all of you to death," Yao Lingyu said, and ordered the next batch of war creatures to join the battle. As a result, the number of war creatures reached 5,000, and all of them had the battle strength of a king. They could be considered an invincible team in the Great Xia. Yao Lingyu thought that victory was in his hands, but he had neglected Yang Wu. Yang Wu was still alive, and the effects of the pill had not been completely exhausted. He was at the peak of his excitement, and he rushed into the army of war creatures and began a frenzied slaughter. "Kill!" Yang Wu cried out in alarm. The path of death enveloped an area of 1 mile, and the weird creature's vitality was affected. Their battle strength was weakening. He waved his fists wildly, and one war creature after another exploded on the spot. Bang! Bang! The weird creatures' bodies were extremely strong, but how could they withstand Yang Wu's explosive power? The first weird creature's stomach exploded, and his intestines were shattered. Another war creature was kicked in the thigh by Yang Wu, and his thigh was broken on the spot, causing him to lose his ability to fight. Another war creature was elbowed in the face by Yang Wu, and his head instantly exploded. None of the war creatures were a match for Yang Wu. Yang Wu's strength was too strong. In a few blinks of an eye, Yang Wu relied on his domineering strength to crush dozens of war creatures on the spot. This kind of killing power was too abnormal. At the same time, it also encouraged Yang Jinan, Su Yinshui, and the others. After they joined the battle, they had to use all their strength to kill these war creatures. There were too many war creatures. With just a few of them, they probably wouldn't be able to kill them all even if they killed until their hands went limp. Moreover, there was still a group of people behind Yao Lingyu who hadn't been transformed. They couldn't see any hope in this battle, so they could only give it their all. Skinny Monkey recovered some of his strength and joined the battle. It wouldn't be difficult for him to kill these war creatures. The one who could decide the outcome of the battle was still Yang Wu. He could only maintain it for a limited time, and he had to rely on the path of death to kill all these war creatures. Every time someone died, a formless death aura would float and be absorbed by his path of death, further increasing the power of his path of death. Many of the war creatures were affected more and more. Yang Wu held his sword in one hand and his double-edged triple dragon spear in the other. He charged left and right, killing one war creature after another. This kind of killing speed could be said to be extremely terrifying. It was completely one-sided like a wolf in a flock of sheep. There was no suspense. Yao Lingyu watched this scene from afar, his heart growing more and more fearful. He gave another order. All of you go, quickly go. You must exhaust this bastard Yang Wu to death. Another group of war creatures charged forward. It turned out that 10,000 of the 20,000 war creatures had been used, and 10,000 were left for last. If these 10,000 couldn't kill their way out of the Medicine King's pavilion, then it would be wishful thinking for him to wipe out everything in the city. Yao Lingyu had been hoping that the white-browed Falcon Emperor would return, but after waiting for a long time, he was disappointed. The white-browed Falcon Emperor probably wouldn't return. In a distant corner, the white-browed Falcon Emperor's 8 disciples had already arrived. They hadn't made a move, but they'd seen Yang Wu first kill the second protector and then slaughter the first protector. They'd all been scared witless and didn't want to run over and throw away their lives. They'd calmly observed the changes, waiting for their master to return before making a decision. As more and more war creatures appeared, it was impossible for the Imperial Guards and the Death Legion not to fight. They'd gathered all their strength and launched a frenzied attack, determined to stop the war creatures from attacking. This battle would definitely be the most desperate battle in the city in 100 years. Who would emerge victorious in the end would only be clear after it was over. In the midst of the slaughter, Yang Wu's strength had been squeezed to the limit. He'd killed 1,000 or 2,000 war creatures in a row, killing until his entire body was covered in blood. Cracks had appeared on the battle weapons in his hands. They were only royal weapons, and his strength was already comparable to the Skyfish realm. It would be strange if the battle weapons weren't damaged under this kind of slaughter. The more Yang Wu killed the war creatures, the more the battle blood in his body boiled. Under the support of the firepower, his bloodline talent was pushed to the limit, exceeding the limits of what he could bear. Under normal circumstances, it would be difficult for Yang Wu's battle blood to reach such a state. It was the berserk effect of the violent monarch pill that stimulated his battle blood talent, causing his battle strength to soar once again. The battle race was a very hot-blooded and warlike race. Their bodies contained endless power, and the stronger their opponent, the more powerful their battle strength would be. Yang Wu had originally only awakened his battle blood talent, but under the stimulation of the violent monarch pill, his battle blood talent had been further enhanced. His battle strength had broken through at least several times, perhaps even more than 10 times. Yang Family Spear Manual. Nameless Sword Style. The Yang Family Spear Manual had a total of 7 styles. Under the stimulation of battle blood, the explosive power was even more terrifying, far surpassing the level of an ordinary Heaven Realm battle skill. There was no need to mention the Nameless Sword Style. With the support of the Seed of Sword Intent, the sword slashed out a 300-meter long sword mark. Bang bang. The war creatures that were constantly surrounding him were blasted into pools of blood on the spot by the spear and sword. In the blink of an eye, 300 to 400 war creatures had died, and many pavilions had been razed to the ground. This kind of killing power was absolutely breathtaking. The people fighting not far away were shocked. They were all glad that they didn't get close to Yang Wu, or else they would have been killed by the shockwaves. Under this wave of attacks, Yao Lingyu was really frightened. Without thinking, he turned around and prepared to sneak into the secret place again. He had to wait for Yang Wu's battle strength to decrease before making a move. This abnormal piece of trash, I don't believe he can kill all my people, Yao Lingyu cursed as he fled. What he didn't know was that Yang Wu's gaze had already locked onto him. Yang Wu faintly shouted, "Yao Lingyu, prepare to die." As long as Yao Lingyu didn't die, the beast army would be endless. Yang Wu's violent monarch pill was also about to expire. He made the final attack that would determine victory and defeat. Falling Moon Bow. Bang! Chapter 451. The arrow shot out in all directions, and the Xian Qi was astonishing. This arrow seemed to have pierced through an era and pierced through the sky. In an instant, it fell on Yao Lingyu's body. No one could block it for him. No one expected Yang Wu to suddenly shoot such a terrifying arrow at him. He didn't even have time to cry out before he was shot by this arrow. A mass of blue Xian Qi scattered in all directions, and thick blood splattered on the ground. Yao Lingyu, the master of the Medicine King Pavilion, had fallen. Who would have thought that Yang Wu would still be able to capture Yao Lingyu's position in this chaotic battle and kill him directly? The war creatures had already shape-shifted, and they continued to fight and kill. They didn't stop killing just because Yao Lingyu was killed. Those who hadn't taken the shape-shifting pill were in a state of confusion. They didn't take the shape-shifting pill, so they were still rational, but they didn't know what to do. Yang Wu's voice sounded an alarm. People of the Medicine King Pavilion, listen up. Yao Lingyu rebelled and has been executed. Those who surrender will not be killed. Those who don't surrender will be punished by 9 generations of the clan. This voice was like a grave drum and a mourning bell, and it fell into the ears of those who hadn't shape-shifted, waking them up. They were all oppressed by the Medicine King Pavilion and were locked here as war creatures. They received all kinds of training and strengthening in order to withstand the time and power of shape-shifting. Their minds and bodies were ravaged, and they only hated the Medicine King Pavilion. They didn't have any gratitude. Now that they heard that Yao Lingyu had died, they were overjoyed. They knew it was time to regain their freedom. I'm willing to surrender. I was forced. I'm also willing to surrender. I don't want to suffer anymore. Please save me. I want freedom. I want to leave this devil's place. Voices of surrender rang out. They were all people who hadn't shape-shifted yet. They didn't want to become neither human nor beast. They wanted freedom. After Yang Wu heard these voices, he smiled with great satisfaction. Very good. I'll give you a chance to redeem yourselves. Whoever can kill a war creature will be exempted from the evidence and will not be held accountable in the future. Otherwise, you will still be punished after you surrender. It had to be said that Yang Wu's words were very powerful. For the sake of their freedom and not to be punished, the 10,000 people had to respond. Thus, these 10,000 people joined the ranks of the war creatures, greatly reducing the pressure on the Imperial Guards and the Death Legion. At this time, Yang Wu's violent king pill strength was finally exhausted. His body instantly felt a burst of pain, and his dantian felt empty. He nearly fainted on the spot. "Grandson, come here," Yang Wu called out to the silver-patterned turtle. The silver-patterned turtle had put in a lot of effort in this fierce battle, but hadn't used all of its strength. It relied on its powerful defense to stand in an invincible position. Even the war creatures couldn't break its defense. It only occasionally launched attacks to kill some war creatures so that it could maintain its peak combat strength. When the silver-patterned turtle heard Yang Wu's summon, it had no choice but to rush over. It wasn't afraid of other humans, but it was afraid that Yang Wu would flip out. If that happened, it would be unlucky. The silver-patterned turtle quickly rushed to Yang Wu's side and said respectfully, "Young master, your grandson is here. Protect me." Yang Wu didn't even have the strength to speak. His entire body was throbbing with pain, and his strength was empty. Even a normal person could easily kill him. The silver-patterned turtle didn't say anything else. It carried Yang Wu on its back and circulated a layer of energy to support Yang Wu, preventing Yang Wu from getting hurt. "Little Hay, where are you?" Yang Wu called out weakly. "Southeast of you. Come here," Little Hay replied. And so, the silver-patterned turtle carried Yang Wu and quickly rushed southeast. The silver-patterned turtle flew near Little Hay. Meng Bingxue was being protected by Little Hay, and her situation wasn't too good. "How is Bingxue?" Yang Wu asked. "Don't worry. This immortal emperor will ensure that she doesn't die," Little Hay said proudly. "That's good. Did you get the soul spring? I knew you'd be worried about it. This immortal emperor took all the good things here. We can leave now." "No rush. Let's wait until things settle down before we leave." There wasn't much suspense in this battle. The Medicine King Pavilion had been completely wiped out, and it no longer existed. Many of the war creatures had been killed, and the people who had resisted had also been killed. Most of the alchemists had chosen to surrender, and some of the kings had escaped in the chaos. The Imperial Guard had suffered many casualties, and the Death Legion had suffered some losses. Even the kings had fallen. It could be said that they had paid a heavy price to wipe out the Medicine King Pavilion. The greatest contribution in this battle was Yang Wu, followed by Yang Zhenan, Su Yin Shuai, and the Skinny Monkey. After they had wiped out the people of the Medicine King Pavilion, they began to clean up the battlefield. They took away everything of value from the Medicine King Pavilion, dug up important places, and searched for their medicine storehouses. Yang Wu didn't have the time to participate in these matters. His and Meng Bingshua's bodies were in a terrible state, and they needed to rest. The silver-patterned turtle brought them back to the Yang clan. On the way back, Yang Wu had been adjusting his breathing. The Supreme Nine Profound Arts circulated over and over again. The wisp of immortal qi in his dantian began to circulate throughout his body. This power could reduce his pain and heal his injuries, but it could not restore him to his peak state. He had to recuperate in order to completely erase the aftereffects of this incident. It seems that the violent king pill really can't be taken carelessly. Yang Wu bitterly laughed in his heart. On the way back to the Yang clan, an earth-shattering battle broke out in the palace. Even though Yang Wu was extremely weak, he could still feel the powerful energy fluctuations. Something happened in the palace? Yang Wu cried out. There are Heaven Realm experts fighting. Little He replied from the side. What is going on? The Medicine King Pavilion has already been wiped out. Who else has the strength to challenge the imperial family? Yang Wu asked suspiciously. He paused for a moment and then said, Not good. The imperial guards are all at the Medicine King Pavilion. The palace is empty. This is the best time to assassinate the empress. Grandson, quickly bring me to the palace. Little brat, you're crazy. In your current state, you can't fight anymore. What's the point of running there? Little He advised. Little He, I can't just stand by and watch the empress get killed. Yang Wu said resolutely. He was the one who pushed Tang Xiaohan to the throne. A while ago, he didn't help her quell the chaos in the palace. Now that she was under attack, he couldn't just stand by and watch. It's useless even if you go. You won't be able to use your strength for a period of time, even if you have medicinal pills. Don't go and throw your life away. What happens there doesn't have much to do with you, Little He said. Little He, I know you have a way to help me recover, right? I'm begging you. Yang Wu begged Little He. Yang Wu was a man of integrity. He would never easily plead for mercy, not even to Little He. Now that he had lost his strength, he couldn't help Tang Xiaohan at all. He knew that only Little He could change the situation. As long as Little He was willing to help, he believed that there was nothing that couldn't be solved. Woof, woof, you little brat. There's a time when you're begging this Celestial Emperor. Why don't you call me Lord Celestial Emperor a few times? If I'm happy, I might help you, Little He said proudly. Invincible Lord Celestial Emperor, please help me. Yang Wu couldn't be bothered to bicker with Little He as he begged again. Seeing how sincere you are, this Celestial Emperor will help you one more time. Little He didn't make things difficult for Yang Wu. After it agreed, it spat out a medicinal pill and said to Yang Wu, Take this and recover your strength. It should be enough to settle the matter over there. Yang Wu's eyes narrowed as he asked, What kind of pill is this? As an alchemist, he could tell that this pill was extraordinary. It had 3 pill veins and an incomparably strong medicinal fragrance. It was at least a heaven pill, but he didn't know what kind of pill it was. When you were refining the violent King Dan, I had already prepared the 3 revolutions little profound pill for you. It can smooth out your current side effects and help you return to your peak. Xiao He explained. 3 revolutions profound pill. Yang Wu revealed a look of shock. He had received Little He's high-level alchemy inheritance, which included the pill recipe for the 3 revolutions profound pill. This was a top-grade heaven pill, even exceeding the category of heaven pills. It required a large amount of high-level herbs to successfully refine it. Its medicinal strength was quite astonishing, being able to reshape a cultivator's body and strengthen their foundation. It could also replenish a cultivator's strength in a short period of time, allowing them to quickly recover their damaged meridians and internal organs. It could be said that this was a pill with 3 effects: reshaping the body, restoring energy, and healing. It was called the 3 Revolutions Profound Pill. Little Black had actually quietly refined this kind of medicinal pill. Yang Wu was really overjoyed at this turn of events. This medicinal pill just happened to be able to erase his current side effects. Yang Wu looked at little He with gratitude, swallowing the 3 revolutions profound pill without another word. Little Wu Zi, no matter the result of this battle, you have to come with me to find another type of profound essence qi. Otherwise, you will be stuck at the Earth-Sea realm. Little He said solemnly. And I understand. Yang Wu replied seriously. He then urged the silver-patterned tortoise. Let's go to the Imperial Palace. The silver-patterned tortoise flew in the direction of the Imperial Palace. Yang Wu circulated the revered 9 mysteries formula in his body and used the fastest speed to refine the 3 revolutions small mystery pellets' medicinal efficacy. This medicinal efficacy was incomparably majestic and powerful, and when it was divided, the pain in his body immediately disappeared, and his body immediately felt a lot better. He looked in the direction of the Imperial Palace and muttered, Xiaohan, wait for me. Chapter 452. In the Imperial Palace, the battle has already begun. Wu Sanhao, Prince Fu, and Prime Minister Song, and a mysterious powerhouse named Qi Qi were fighting fiercely above the Imperial Palace. Qi Yinzhen did not make a move. He was protecting Tang Xiaohan. He originally wanted to take Tang Xiaohan away, but Tang Xiaohan said, If I leave now, I will have no face to be the empress in the future. I will have no face to see my imperial father in the underworld. Qi Yinzhen can see Tang Xiaohan's firm determination. He can only stay with her. No matter what the result of this battle is, it's time to end it. Originally, he wanted to participate in the battle, but Wu Sanhao said, Prince Fu and Prime Minister Song, you 3 come together. As a result, Wu Sanhao was able to fight against 3 of them. Both Prince Fu and Song Xiang quietly reached the heavenly fish realm. This was something that no one expected, especially Song Xiang. He hit it too well. No one thought that this old prime minister would have such a strong combat strength. Not to mention, there was a heavenly fish realm powerhouse beside him. How powerful was the 3 of them? So, why did Wu Sanhao have the confidence to fight against 3 of them? Wu Sanhao, as a 3rd-generation old minister, made great achievements in the border. His fighting strength has already reached the peak. His reputation was more for leading the army in war. He was not like the white-browed Eagle Emperor, who was famous for his fighting strength. In fact, he was a super powerhouse no less than the white-browed Eagle Emperor. Wu Sanhao was holding his tiger-tooth broadsword, showing his old and strong side. He strongly blocked Prince Fu and the other 2, but he did not fall into a disadvantageous position. It can be seen how strong his strength was. Prime Minister Song, you hold back this old man. I will kill my niece first. Prince Fu was not willing to be stopped by Wu Sanhao. He said to Prime Minister Song and Qi Qi, then rushed towards Tang Xiaohan. Prime Minister Song and Qi Qi tried their best to besiege Wu Sanhao, not giving him a chance to be distracted. The 2 of them had good fighting skills, especially Prime Minister Song, who was already an intermediate heavenly fish realm cultivator. He was only a bit worse than Wu Sanhao. Kill His Majesty first. Ask this Dean first. Qi Yinzhen stood in front of Tang Xiaohan and said loudly. Prince Fu held the Son of Heaven's sword and mercilessly slashed towards Qi Yinzhen. He named this sword Son of Heaven because he wanted to prove to everyone that he was the true Son of Heaven of Great Xia. Qi Yinzhen was the Dean of the Imperial Academy, so his fighting strength was naturally very strong. His fingers moved, and a seemingly ordinary long sword came out of its scabbard. Then it collided with Prince Fu Yin's sword. Prince Fu Yin, if you dare to be stubborn, I will kill you. Qi Yinzhen looked like a calm old man, but in fact his temper was more explosive than anyone else's. Qi Yinzhen, you refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. From now on, the Imperial Academy will be wiped out. Prince Fu Yin strongly replied. The 2 of them fought fiercely. Bursts of sword light flashed incessantly, and many sword flowers splashed everywhere. Qi Yinzhen's fighting strength was above Prince Fu Yin, but because he wanted to protect Tang Xiaohan, he was still worried about killing Prince Fu Yin quickly. Prince Fu Yin was even more cunning. He didn't fight with Qi Yinzhen head-on. Most of his attacks were aimed at Tang Xiaohan, forcing Qi Yinzhen to only defend. After all, Tang Xiaoan's strength was too weak. As long as she was hit, she would die. Let's go. Tang Xiaoan was very decisive, so she ordered the old eunuch beside her. The old eunuch didn't say anything, so he protected Tang Xiaoan and quickly retreated. At this time, Prince Fu once again used a feint. After disrupting Qi Yinzhen's attack, he used his clone technique. 3 Prince Fu ANS appeared. 2 of them attacked Qi Yinzhen, while the other one chased after Tang Xiaoan. The one who chased after Tang Xiaoan was the real Prince Fuan. He sneered and said, "Go and see your imperial father, my good niece." The old eunuch was just a top king. He couldn't stop Prince Fu Yin's sword. Qi Yinzhen was delayed, so he didn't have time to save Tang Xiaoan. Tang Xiaoan was in danger. At this critical moment, an arrow flew towards Prince Fu and like a meteor. Prince Fu Yin's perception was very strong. So, when the arrow was about to hit him, he swung his Son of Heaven's sword and cut the arrow in half. "Prince Fuan, I never thought we would meet again. It seems we are really fated." A figure rushed in front of Tang Xiaoan at the fastest speed and faintly said. When Tang Xiaoan saw the figure, her eyes immediately became moist. She didn't expect that he would appear at this critical moment. She felt that even if she died, she would have no regrets. "It's you again, Yang Wu." When Prince Fu saw Yang Wu's appearance, his eyes almost spewed out fire. His substitute was killed by Yang Wu. Otherwise, the imperial palace would belong to him now. "Yes, it's me again. I didn't expect you to not die yet. It seems we were all deceived by you." Yang Wu looked at Prince Fu indifferently. At this time, Yang Wu has recovered from half of his injuries. The medicine was still working. As long as he was given another quarter of an hour, he will completely recover to his peak state. But how could Prince Fu give him this time? He saw Yang Wu was covered in blood. Obviously, he just rushed over after the battle. He must take advantage of Yang Wu to kill Yang Wu. Prince Fu cursed inside his heart. "Those wastes of medicine, King Pavilion." Then he shouted, "You came just in time. I will send you on your way." With that, the Emperor's sword in his hand slashed furiously at Yang Wu. His sword hadn't reached Yang Wu, but Qi Yinzhen had already rushed over and shouted, "Prince Fu, your opponent is me." Just now, he was deceived by Prince Fu and almost hurt Tang Xiaoan. His old face cannot hang anymore. He must fight with Prince Fu to determine the winner. When Qi Yinzhen and Prince Fu fought, Yang Wu got a buffer time. But who would have thought that Tang Xiaoan rushed over from behind and hugged Yang Wu, then said with a crying voice, "Yang Wu, don't leave me." Tang Xiaoan was only a 16-year-old girl. She was under the most pressure these days. She thought she was going to die, but Yang Wu's appearance made her determined to bind him to her side. Yang Wu bitterly smiled and said, "Your Majesty, let me go first. I am injured." Tang Xiaoan hurriedly let go of Yang Wu and apologized. "I'm sorry." "It's okay. Eunuch, take His Majesty to a safe place. Leave this to us. It's time to end this," Yang Wu said with a sharp look. Tang Xiaoan didn't dare to look at him. She said to Yang Wu and followed the old eunuch to a safe place. In the palace, not only the supermasters of Heavenly Fish Realm were fighting, but also Wu Sanhao's men and Prince Fu's men. Tang Xiaoan was in danger at all times. If she had an accident, everything in the palace will be a foregone conclusion. "Grandson, protect Her Majesty the Empress for me." Yang Wu was not too reassured and instructed the silver-patterned turtle that had rushed over from behind. The silver-patterned turtle will not violate Yang Wu's intention, so it quickly rushed towards Tang Xiaohan's direction. Yang Wu didn't have time to think too much. He refined the 3-revolution little profound pellet one step further. His body's injuries and strength were all fully recovered. His gaze was fixed on the sky, and both Song Xiang and Qi Qi were reflected in his eyes. He thought to himself, sure enough, it was them who did this. On the way, Yang Wu had thought of many possibilities. He thought that Song Xiang would rebel, but he didn't expect that Prince Fu was still alive. Their combined strength was quite powerful. If Wu Sanhao and Qi Yinzhen were not here, Tang Xiaoan would have died. Yang Wu felt that this trip was right. Not only can he save Tang Xiaoan, but he can also put an end to the things that happened a year and a half ago. A year and a half ago, he was crippled by Prince Fu and his people. His whole family was sent to prison, which almost destroyed his Yang family. Fortunately, he was lucky enough to be able to make a comeback. Yang Wu ran the highest 9 profound secrets over and over again, further absorbing the medicinal efficacy of the 3 revolutions small profound pellet. His state was quickly recovering. He thought that he could quietly recover to his peak state before taking action, but some people didn't want to give him such an opportunity. Several arrows were shot at him from the dark. Whoosh! These arrows were shot by a king. Their power was quite fast. Once one was shot, there was almost no chance of survival. Yang Wu's perception was very keen. He moved his body to avoid the arrows. The arrows hit a rockery and bursted on the spot. "If you want to play archery with me, then let's compete together," Yang Wu said. Then he held the fallen moon bow and shot 3 arrows in the direction where the arrows were shot. These 3 arrows were more powerful than the arrows shot by the 3 people. The 3 people had no time to escape and were shot dead. After Yang Wu shot, he did not intend to wait quietly. He wanted to take the initiative to attack. He was afraid that Prince Fu and Song Xiang would escape again. "It's time to end this." Yang Wu slowly rose into the air. His eyes first fell on Prince Fu and murmured. The next moment, he quietly opened his soul eye. "Soul, I extinguish soul." This time, Yang Wu did not want to confront Prince Fu head-on. Even if his situation was a lot better, he still did not achieve the effect he wanted. It was not because Little Hei's 3 transformation small profound pill was useless, but because the 3 transformation small profound pill's effect was to slowly penetrate into every part of the body and transform it. It will not help him reach his peak strength. Prince Fu never dared to underestimate Yang Wu. Unfortunately, he was under Qi Enzin's full attack, so he could not pay attention to Yang Wu's actions. Because of this, when Yang Wu shot his soul eye, he did not even have the chance to escape. An invisible soul force rushed into his soul. His soul was like being burned by fire. It quickly shrank. He screamed in pain. Qi Enzin didn't realize what happened to Prince Fuan, but the other party showed such a big flaw in front of him. He seized the opportunity and cut Prince Fuan's neck with his sword, cutting off his head. Prince Fuan has been killed. Now it's your turn. Song Lirue, you old dog. Yang Wuhuan didn't close his eyes. Instead, he looked in Song Xiang's direction and roared. After Song Xiang heard Yang Wu's voice, his mind became flustered. He diverted his attention to look at Yang Wu, and it just so happened that Yang Wu was also looking at him. That soul eye flashed with a demonic light, which scared him out of his wits. The soul eye's offensive talent was extremely powerful. In an instant, it broke into Song Xiang's divine court and severely injured his soul. Chapter 453. Song Lirue had been wise all his life. He had become the prime minister from an ordinary family. It could be said that his limelight was boundless. More than half of the civil officials in the court were his students. Many times, his words were more effective than the emperor's. There was a rumor among the people of Xia. Song Xiang is half the sky of Xia. It can be seen how important Song Xiang's position was. Unfortunately, all of this was gradually broken with the return of Yang Wu. Yang Wu became the youngest heavenly alchemist and Prince Xiaowu. He forced Song Xiang to withdraw from the imperial court and strongly changed the structure of Xia. On this day, Song Xiang wanted to turn the situation around with Prince Fuan. They felt that no one could stop them. Even if it was Wu Sanhao or Qi Enzin, they were confident that they can kill Tang Xiaoan and seize the throne. However, no matter how they calculated, they still missed out on Yang Wu. They felt that it would be difficult for Yang Wu to leave the Medicine King's pavilion, and that he might even die in the Medicine King's pavilion. Not only did Yang Wu not die in the Medicine King pavilion, but he also uprooted the Medicine King pavilion. Now, he even threw them into a perilous situation. Prince Fuan's head was chopped off by Qi Enzin. Song Xiang was targeted by Yang Wu's soul eye. His soul was injured, but he did not die. His soul force was strong enough to withstand Yang Wu's soul eye attack. Nevertheless, he was scared. He turned around and fled without thinking. He even ignored his companions. Song Lirue, can you escape? Yang Wu shouted loudly. The power of his soul I was still shooting out. He must not let Song Lirue escape. Song Lirue had already prepared his soul defense, but he was still injured again. He felt that his head was about to explode. He turned around and shouted at Yang Wu. Yang Wu, do you really want to kill me? My children are May Mountain's inner court disciples. If you kill me, your Yang family will not have good death. You still dare to threaten me in the face of death. Let me end you with my own hands. Yang Wu frowned and withdrew his soul eye. He flapped his profound wings and charged towards Song Xiang, wanting to kill Song Lirue with his own hands. Song Lirue revealed a complacent look. At the same time, he took out a pill and swallowed it to stabilize his soul injury. His pill was not a soul-type pill, so it was not able to immediately heal the damage to the soul, but he believed that it was enough to kill Yang Wu. I'm not that guy, white-browed Eagle Emperor. Every time I make a move, I will use all my strength to kill the enemy in one move. Song Lirue secretly thought in his heart. He raised his battle sword and charged towards Yang Wu. Shadowless sword. Song Lirue's sword was very fast, so fast that it disappeared without a trace. In an instant, it arrived in front of Yang Wu, wanting to cut Yang Wu in half. Yang Wu revealed a complacent smile and murmured, "Let's see who dies first." Yang Wu entered a defensive state and raised the Scarlet Essence sword to block the sword. The Scarlet Essence sword could not withstand the power of the sword and broke. Yang Wu took the opportunity to dodge, but his lower abdomen was still pierced and fresh blood sprayed out again. Song Lirue revealed an incomparably complacent look. Once again, he wanted to kill Yang Wu. He must kill Yang Wu in the shortest time possible. Unbeknownst to him, 2 ice blade wings had already quietly sliced towards his vital points. If his soul force was not damaged, he would definitely be able to sense the ice blade wings attack. When he launched his second wave of attack towards Yang Wu, the ice blade wings had already invisibly landed on his body. Pooh! Song Lirue's neck was cut by the ice blade wings, causing a large amount of blood to flow out. If it wasn't for his heavenly scale armor absorbing some of the cutting power, his head would have been cut off. Yang Wu. Song Lirue opened his eyes wide and held his neck, wanting to angrily curse Yang Wu. However, the moment he opened his mouth, the injury on his neck became even worse. He could no longer care about arguing with Yang Wu and turned to run at full speed. You can't escape. Cut the ice blade wings for me. Yang Wu once again urged the ice blade wings to slash at Song Lirue at full speed. This attack had used up all of the energy in his kidneys, so it had to be successful. Song Lirue was already like a bird startled by the twang of a bow. His mind was still in a state of chaos. Yang Wu's attack was successful on the spot, once again injuring Song Lirue. Yang Wu pursued a step further and took out the fallen moon bow to shoot at Song Lirue. Song Lirue couldn't dodge in time and was shot in the thigh by Yang Wu's arrow. It was so painful that he screamed like a pig being slaughtered. This time, Song Lirue's combat power had already been reduced by 70 to 80%, all because of the injury to his soul. Yang Wu wouldn't let go of such an opportunity and continued to urge the ice blade wings to attack Song Lirue. I'll sentence you to death by 1,000 cuts, Yang Wu said coldly. The punishment of death by 1,000 cuts was originally to be given to the Great Guardian, who knew that the Great Guardian would explode and die. Now, he was using on Song Lirue to vent the hatred in his heart. Song Lirue was a super expert in the mid-level heavenly fish realm, but he couldn't resist at all. He was cut into countless pieces by Yang Wu's ice blade wings and died by 1,000 cuts. It's finally over. Yang Wu looked at the pile of falling blood and sighed deeply. His family's hatred has almost been avenged. As long as he finds Tang, Jiaoyin, and Song Yuming, everything will come to an end. Qi, who was fighting with Wu Sanhao, had already thought of retreating, but Wu Sanhao's attack was too overbearing. He didn't have time to escape and was cut in half by Wu Sanhao. Prince Fuwen, Prime Minister Song, and Qi were all killed. The kings that came with them also couldn't escape. Qi Yinzhen was angry and killed more than 20 kings. Wu Sanhao was even more ruthless and killed more than 30 kings. The rest were killed by Wu Sanhao's confidants. Originally, all of this didn't end so quickly, but because of the appearance of Yang Wu, they easily disrupted the actions of the rebels. The battle in the imperial palace was finally over. Empress Tang Xiaoan ordered Wu Sanhao to take his people and rush to Prime Minister Song's mansion to search and confiscate everything. When Wu Sanhao and his people arrived at Prime Minister Song's mansion, Prime Minister Song's relatives had already left. Only a few maidservants were left. Under Wu Sanhao's vigorous search, they soon found a secret passage in the Song mansion. This secret passage led to the outside of the city. Obviously, the Song family had moved through this secret passage. In addition, he also found a secret passage that led to the old Prince Fu In's mansion. But this secret passage has long been closed. There was also a secret passage that led to the direction of Medicine King Pavilion. All of this came to light. Prince Fu In, Prime Minister Song, and Medicine King Pavilion were all hiding something. They were all rebels. Tang Xiaohan issued an imperial decree and announced the evil deeds of these three forces to the whole world. All the people found it hard to believe that all of this was the truth. There was a heated discussion in King City, but soon, the peaceful days will slowly become a topic of history. As for the battle between the Death War Emperor and the white-browed Eagle Emperor outside the city, in the end, the white-browed Eagle Emperor was injured and fled. On the third day after the battle between the Medicine King Pavilion and the Imperial Palace, Yang Wu has fully digested the three revolving mysterious pill. His body has been fully strengthened. His potential talent has increased a lot. His meridians and acupuncture points have been expanded to different degrees. The after effects of the violent King Dan have been completely wiped out. His condition has been restored to its best state. His strength has also taken a step forward. He is not far away from the King realm. In the two battles, Yang Wu was incomparably happy. It pushed him to his limit. After recovering, it was natural for him to gain something. After Yang Wu recovered, the first thing he wanted to do was to refine a Dan. This time, he wanted to refine the heavenly soul Dan that can help Meng Bingxue recover. Yang Wu has been waiting for this day for a long time. Little He, give me the soul spring. Yang Wu said to Little He. The Medicine King Pavilion has been destroyed, and everything there has been looted. However, Little He has already taken all the good stuff. The others have only picked up the leftovers. Little He didn't dawdle with Yang Wu. She straightforwardly spat out some of the soul spring to Yang Wu. Yang Wu was very dissatisfied. He knew Little He had more soul spring than this, but there was nothing he could do about Little He. He could only make do with it. The Heavenly Soul Dan was a high-quality Heavenly Dan. It was not easy to refine. After making many preparations, Yang Wu entered a state of alchemy. First, he started a fire. Then, he used his soul to urge the herbs into the bronze cauldron. He extracted the essence of each herb. Many of the herbs were refined in an orderly manner. The essence of the herbs fell into the cauldron. Not a single one was spoiled. It was obvious that Yang Wu's alchemy skills had improved by a large margin. Yang Wu didn't feel any pressure when refining the Heavenly Star Soul Grass. Even when refining the Heavenly Star Soul Grass, Yang Wu didn't care. He refined it as if it were an ordinary herb. If it were any other alchemist, they would have to be careful when refining high-grade herbs. They were afraid of making mistakes. This kind of mentality was the most likely to ruin things. When all the herbs were refined, Yang Wu threw a heavenly demon core into the bronze cauldron. This was an ice demon core that Yang Wu found in the treasury. Without it, he wouldn't be able to refine the Heavenly Soul Dan. During the alchemy process, the most time-consuming was refining the heavenly demon core. It contained a lot of power. When the heavenly demon core melted, a powerful heavenly demon soul appeared and attacked Yang Wu, wanting to destroy everything that Yang Wu was doing. Yang Wu already had experience. He wasn't afraid of the heavenly demon soul at all. He opened his soul eye and destroyed it completely. The heavenly demon core was quickly refined and began to condense with the essence of the herbs. It entered the final stage of condensing the pill. During the entire process, Yang Wu consumed a lot of energy, especially his soul. If he didn't have the divine court Dao flower, it would be difficult for him to last until now with his current strength. Condense the pill. Yang Wu chanted and withdrew the blue demoness. He quickly used his qi to cool the cauldron and condense the pill. Yang Wu used his soul, I, and earth, I, as a bridge to communicate with the qi of heaven and earth. He poured all of it into the cauldron and further fused the pill. When Yang Wu was done, the sky was instantly covered by dark clouds. Thunder rumbled and lightning struck down like dragons and snakes. Rumble. Chapter 454. Pill Tribulation. Only the refinement of high-quality king pills and above could trigger a pill tribulation. Now, Yang Wu was refining the heavenly soul pill, which was a high-quality heavenly pill. It was obvious that he had succeeded in refining it, which was why he had triggered a pill tribulation. The pill tribulation in front of them was incomparably mighty. First, a wave of ordinary heavenly thunder blasted towards Yang Wu's location. There were a total of 9 heavenly thunders, each one like a dragon or snake. The destructive power of the purple heavenly thunder was truly terrifying. It frightened everyone in the Yang mansion. Although they knew that this might be a pill tribulation caused by Prince Yang's refinement, it was the first time they had experienced such a terrifying pill tribulation. It was as if Prince Yang was going to be completely destroyed. Fortunately, this wave of heavenly thunder only focused on the courtyard where Yang Wu was refining pills. It did not affect other places. Little Hay bit the heavenly thunder meteorite and went up to meet the heavenly thunder. It had to be baptized by the heavenly thunder to help it break through the seal. No one wanted to touch such a terrifying heavenly thunder. Even a heavenly fish realm expert would avoid it. But Little Hay was not afraid at all. It was enough to show that it was extraordinary. Little Hay, don't fight with me for the power of the heavenly thunder. Yang Wugong finished his alchemy and cried out in alarm. Then he soared into the sky and welcomed the heavenly thunder. Gung Jian, who was watching from the sidelines, saw this scene. His mouth was wide open and his eyes were about to pop out. Gung Jian had seen Yang Wu refine pills many times, but this was the first time he had encountered such a terrifying pill tribulation. Everyone would avoid such a pill tribulation, but Yang Wu took the initiative to meet it. This really frightened him. Does Prince Yang want to take the heavenly thunder head on? Gung Jian murmured. 9 lightning body tempering technique. Yang Wu was not a martial artist who cultivated thunder xianqi. Little Hay had taught him the 9 thunders reshaping body art to help him further refine his body. Even though he already had a pure and spotless physique, he still needed to constantly strengthen his body as his realm increased. The 9 thunders reshaping body art could help Yang Wu do this. Little Hay did not expect Yang Wu to be able to cultivate the 9 lightning body tempering technique to perfection. As long as he could achieve a small success in it, it would already be very impressive. Yang Wu had benefited a lot from cultivating the 9 thunders reshaping body art many times. Every time he was struck by the heavenly thunder, it was painful and happy. This time was no exception. Little Hay attracted most of the heavenly thunder's power, but there was still a lot of heavenly thunder's power that came towards him. When the heavenly thunder's power landed on his body, it was not any weaker than the power of a heavenly fish realm expert. He was struck to the ground. Thunder and lightning wandered around his body, electrocuting him until his hair stood on end and his whole body twitched. Fortunately, he was using the 9 thunders reshaping body art. He immediately guided the power to stimulate his body and further strengthen it. Yang Wu easily withstood the first wave of heavenly thunder. The second wave of heavenly thunder fell again. There were a total of 18 heavenly thunder's power, and the destructive power was incomparably terrifying. Yang Wu rushed forward without hesitation. He waved his head and used his barbaric fist to meet the heavenly thunder. Boom, boom, boom. The heavenly thunder's power completely drowned Yang Wu and Little Hay, and it was about to strike them into dust. Come on, this little power is not even enough to tickle me. Yang Wu had an extremely crazy look on his face as he challenged the heavenly thunder. His hair fluttered, and his fist intent surged. His fighting spirit soared into the sky, and he shattered the heavenly thunder's power. The heavenly thunder's power was much more terrifying than the elixir tribulation he encountered when he was refining the chi reversal elixir. Yang Wu's body was scorched black, and he was in so much pain that he kept screaming. However, he continued to fight against the heavenly thunder like a madman. Little Hay could not help but praise him in her heart. As long as you are not afraid of suffering, you can become a person above others. The third wave of heavenly thunder fell. Its power was even stronger. Yang Wu bore 1/3 of the power and was struck until he was covered in cuts and bruises. The fourth wave of heavenly thunder fell, and Yang Wu bore 2/5 of the heavenly thunder's power. His body was completely pulverized, revealing the crystalline bones within. His appearance was truly tragic. The fifth wave of heavenly thunder fell, and Yang Wu was blasted into the ground. He did not even have the strength to crawl to his feet to fight back. This fifth wave of heavenly thunder faintly contained a different kind of heavenly thunder, and it was different from the previous 4 waves of heavenly thunder. The heavenly thunder contained within this fifth wave of heavenly thunder was several times more terrifying, perhaps even more than 10 times more powerful. This was a mutated type of heavenly thunder, and it was incredibly rare. Little Hay cried out in surprise. Crimson fire lightning, it looks like this heavenly soul elixir has been refined to perfection. After the fifth wave of heavenly thunder fell, the sky returned to normal. The courtyard that Yang Wu was in was riddled with holes. Even though Little Hay had already set up a protective array, she was still unable to withstand the heavenly thunder's bombardment. Yang Wu lay on the ground, and his entire body was covered in blood. Many of his bones were exposed, and his appearance was extremely tragic. He gritted his teeth and said, "Being an alchemist is a very dangerous profession." At this time, he was using the 9 lightning body tempering technique to stimulate his body's potential. His bones were strengthened, and his body that had just healed became even more resilient. This was the power of the 9 lightning body tempering technique. Yang Wu had a self-healing physique. If he did not have this ability, he would not have been able to withstand the heavenly thunder's bombardment, and it would have been even more difficult for him to use the 9 lightning body tempering technique to temper his body. After all, this kind of heaven-defying action could easily lead to his death. Even though this kind of torture was very painful, as he used the 9 lightning body tempering technique and combined it with the strand of immortal chi in his body, his recovery speed was quite fast. His broken body healed at a speed that was visible to the naked eye, and the new flesh that grew out was sparkling and translucent, just like a newborn baby. It made people want to touch him. "This feels so good." Yang Wu could not help but softly moan. When Gung Jian heard Yang Wu's soft moan, he almost fell to the ground on the spot. He muttered in his heart, "Your Highness couldn't have been struck by lightning and become stupid, right? You're already injured like this, and you're still calling it good." After a quarter of an hour, Yang Wu bounced up from the pit on the ground. The profound chi on his body flowed, and a ball of blue light flickered, making him look like a fairy descending to the mortal world. His temperament was really eye-catching. Gung Jian instantly knelt on the ground and exclaimed, "Your Highness is really a god." At this moment, he finally understood how powerful Yang Wu was. In the face of such a heavenly tribulation, he had recovered so quickly, and his aura was even stronger. The Death War Emperor, who was secretly observing, had a look of disbelief on his face. The Death War Emperor had experienced many life and death situations, and it was not easy for him to reach this step. He had seen many people, but it was the first time he had seen someone like Yang Wu. He thought to himself, "Is this a natural martial body?" Some natural martial bodies had astonishing potential and inconceivable potential, and everything that Yang Wu had displayed, in his eyes, belonged to a kind of natural martial body. Yang Wu waved to Gung Jian and said, "Go and open the lid." "Yes, Your Highness." Gung Jian revealed an incomparably happy expression and then ran towards the bronze cauldron. Soon, He opened the lid of the cauldron and looked at the 5 perfect pills inside. He could not help but exclaim, "Your Highness, quickly come and see. There are 5 heaven pills. You're making a fuss over nothing." Yang Wu said with a faint smile. He had attracted such a powerful pill tribulation, and being able to condense 5 heaven pills at once was within his expectations. At the same time, it also meant that his alchemy skills had improved by a lot. Little Hay could not help but say in surprise, "Little Wu is not bad." "Of course," Yang Wu said with a calm expression. He then walked to the side of the bronze cauldron and looked at the 5 heaven pills. Each of them had 2 pill veins flowing on them, which meant that these were second tribulation heaven pills. The medicinal effects were several times better than ordinary heaven pills. Ordinary pills would not have pill veins. After being baptized by ordinary heavenly lightning, they would condense into a first tribulation pill. This kind of pill could be called a top quality pill. Pills that were baptized by powerful heavenly lightning and condensed with 2 pill veins were the best of the best. They could be called top quality pills. As for third tribulation pills, they belonged to the top quality and were extremely rare. Yang Wu was still at the high level of the Earthsea realm, but he was able to refine a second tribulation heaven pill. Even Little Hay could not help but be surprised by Yang Wu. At the same time, she said smugly, as expected of this immortal emperor's human pet, "Not bad, not bad. Nothing good comes out of dog's mouth," Yang Wu said with dissatisfaction. Yang Wu put away the heaven pills one by one, and then said to Geng Jian, "You have watched me refine pills many times. Do you have the confidence to refine a king pill?" Geng Jian respectfully said, replying to the prince, "I have the confidence." "That's good. I will give you the pill recipe for the profound congealing pill, so you have to refine a complete king pill for me as soon as possible. If you're not able to refine it, then you do not need to stay by my side anymore." "Yes, Prince," Geng Jian honestly replied. He encouraged himself in his heart and said, "I have watched the prince refine pills so many times. If I cannot refine a king pill, then what face do I have left to follow the prince? I will definitely be able to do it." Yang Wu asked Geng Jian in such a way because he hoped that Geng Jian would be able to take the most critical step. Otherwise, he would be stuck at this step for the rest of his life. At present, the Medicine King Pavilion had been destroyed. He was ready to take over everything from the Medicine King Pavilion. Geng Jian must be cultivated. It was impossible for him to always pay attention to refining low-level pills. Yang Wu walked towards the direction of the Death War Emperor and asked, "Have you thought about it?" The Death War Emperor was a genuine powerhouse of the heavenly fish realm. Moreover, he had already condensed the true Tao of Death. He was no longer threatened by the power of the Death Mark. His future was limitless. 3 days ago, Yang Wu had given him a choice. He could choose to stay in the Martial Marquis clan or leave on his own. Today was the time to make the decision. Although Yang Wu had saved the Death War Emperor, but the Death War Emperor had already forced the white-browed Eagle Emperor to leave. It could be said that he had repaid his kindness. Yang Wu did not force the Death War Emperor to stay. After all, a melon that was forcefully picked was not sweet. The Death War Emperor hesitated for a moment before he said, "There is not much meaning in staying. I want to go to the transcendental world." Although the Death War Emperor had seen Yang Wu's superb alchemy skills, he still yearned for the splendor of the transcendental world. He had already condensed the pure Tao of Death. He must face a more formidable challenge in order to force him to take a step forward. Yang Wu nodded his head and said, "All right, I will not force you. I will give you a heavenly soul pill. I believe you will be able to use it in the future." The Death War Emperor was stunned. Chapter 455. How could the Death War Emperor not know the value of the Tianhandan? It was enough to buy the life of a heavenly fish realm powerhouse. In the past few years, the Death War Emperor was in a state of seeking death. He did not have much savings. Because of this, he listened to Prince Fu in a Medicine King Pavilion and obtained some medicinal pills to prolong his life. Therefore, he paid a lot of price. Now, Yang Wu gave him a Tianhandan that he just refined. This was definitely a super generous gift. "What's wrong? You don't dare to accept it?" Yang Wu looked at the Death War Emperor and asked. The Death War Emperor recovered and said, I don't have any Shin Spirit Stones right now. I also don't have anything else to trade with you. I said that I will give it to you. Why would I want to trade with you? Yang Wu said as he stuffed the Dan into the Death War Emperor's hand. He paused for a moment and said, I only hope that when we meet again in the future, we can sit down and have a drink. After that, he no longer cared about the Death War Emperor. He went to Meng Bingshue's residence to help her recover. The Death War Emperor held the Dan in his hand and said, Wang Ye, please wait. Yang Wu looked back at the Death War Emperor and said, You don't need to change your mind. I don't mean to force you to stay. Wang Ye misunderstood. I also have something to give you. The Death War Emperor said, then took out a piece of animal skin and said, I know that Wang Ye has condensed the true Tao of death. Here's a map. It's the place where I obtained the Mark of Death. That place is a terrifying place, but I think there should be a great opportunity there. Wang Ye, do you dare to accept it? Yang Wu raised his eyebrows and said, Since there is a great opportunity, why don't you keep it for yourself? I accidentally entered that place, but I can't go back. Even with my current strength, I can't go back. But I believe that Wang Ye has a way. The Death War Emperor said. He paused for a moment and said, That place might be related to the extraordinary world. Okay, I'll take it. Yang Wu didn't hesitate and took the beast skin from the Death War Emperor. When Yang Wu took the beast skin, the supreme 9 mysteries formula in his body suddenly sped up. There was a sense of summoning, just like when he sensed the frost spring mysterious essence chi from the cold star grass. He exclaimed in his heart, Could it be that there is mysterious essence chi in the beast's skin? The Death War Emperor didn't notice Yang Wu's situation. He turned around and left King Yang's mansion to pursue a higher realm. Yang Wu grasped the beast skin and felt that it was not ordinary. Looking at the map drawn on it, he quickly determined the direction of the Wolf Smoke Mountain Range. He said to himself, Looks like I'll have to make another trip to the Wolf Smoke Mountain Range when I have time. He put away the beast's skin and went directly to Meng Bingshue's room. Meng Bingshue was in a coma. Her breath was getting weaker and weaker. Even though little Haze Dan was keeping her alive, her soul was on the verge of collapse. As long as her soul was destroyed, she would die. Yang Wu didn't say anything. He put the Dan into Meng Bingshue's mouth, hoping that the Tianhun Dan would help her recover. Bingshue, I don't care if you still remember me after your soul recovers. I will always treat you as my woman. As long as you need me, I will always stand by your side. Yang Wu said, then turned around and left the room. He also called the silver-striped turtle to protect her. Now, Prince Fu and Song Xiang and the others were all captured. There was no big threat in King City. He believed that no one would disturb Meng Bingshue's recovery. What's more, Little Hay had already arranged a formation in the Yang Mansion. Even if a heavenly fish realm powerhouse came in, they might not be able to handle it. Yang Wu also wanted to see Meng Bingshue recover. However, he was afraid that after she recovered, she would forget about him. He would feel very uncomfortable. Yang Wu went to the main hall and called Shouho, Lu Ji, Peng Yuan, Huang Changjian, Shu Luoqiu, and the others. Today, I called you here for 2 things. One is about the auction, and the other is about the Marquis clan. Yang Wu went straight to the point and continued. The first auction was disrupted by the people of the Medicine King Hall, and our reputation has been tarnished. Now that the Medicine King Hall has been destroyed, their auction house will be taken over by our Wuho gang. We will use their auction house for the next auction, and we will tell everyone the whole story. Whoever dares to cause damage to Wuho gang's business will end up like the Medicine King Hall. The second thing is for Wuho gang to rebuild the old site of the Medicine King Hall and clean up everything that they used to have and rebuild it. This point has already been approved by the Emperor, so you can go ahead and do it boldly. Yang Wu made a series of arrangements. He asked Shu Luoqiu and Huang Changjian to partner up, not only to rebuild the auction house, but also to rebuild the Yang family's business and further increase the Yang family's income. The construction of the Marquis clan in the Medicine King Hall site was handed over to Lu Ji and Peng Yuan to supervise. It must be completed within 3 months. At the same time, Yang Wu also appointed Shouho as the deputy chief of the Marquis clan, Lu Ji as the chief advisor, Peng Yuan as the deputy chief, and the rest of them as ordinary elders. They were the first batch of elders of the Marquis clan. Yang Wu was determined to establish the martial Marquis. He was already prepared to establish himself in Granxia for a long period of time. As a citizen of Granxia, this was something he couldn't change. Even if the Yang clan had some origins, it couldn't change the fact that his parents were living here. He had to do something to protect the people most important to him. After Yang Wu was done with all these, someone came to the Yang residence to seek an audience. When Yang Wu heard the name of the visitor, he hesitated for a moment, but still allowed the visitor to enter. The visitor was the chief of the beggar clan, Su Shan. He carried a gourd on his back and leisurely walked to the front of the Yang residence's main hall. He said to Yang Wu, "Your Highness, the people from Mount Amei are about to arrive. Have you thought it through?" Su Shan did not care about trifles and had a sloppy look on his face. He indeed looked like a beggar. "We'll deal with whatever comes our way," Yang Wu replied simply. Su Shan shook her head lightly and said, "Your Highness, your thinking is too simple. I heard that Mount Amei has sent out an inner sect deacon. Within the Xia kingdom, there is absolutely no one who is a match for this deacon. She can kill you with a flip of her hand. No one from the Yang clan can escape. Then can you save my Yang family?" Yang Wu asked back. "Join the beggar clan. Our beggar clan has an extraordinary status in the transcendent world. Only then will Mount Amei not dare to do anything to you." Su Shan revealed his motive. Yang Wu laughed and said, "Haha, I don't want to be a beggar. You look down on beggars?" Su Shan showed a trace of dissatisfaction. "You're too serious. I'm used to living a life of luxury since I was young. I don't have the habit of begging others." Yang Wu replied, "Begging is only a part of the cultivation of our beggar clan. With your current strength, you don't need to do that anymore. You don't have to waste your breath. I won't join the beggar clan. If you treat me, Yang Wu, as a friend, then tell me how many people have come from Mount Amei and what are their realms." Su Shan shook his head lightly and said, "I only know that an inner sect deacon and 3 outer sect deacons have come. I don't know anything else." He paused for a moment and said, "Since you don't want to join the beggar clan, then I have to go. The women of Mount Amei are all sharper than the other. I don't want to get involved in this mess." After he finished speaking, he turned around and left the Yang mansion. Yang Wu didn't ask him to stay. He was sure that Su Shan wasn't lying to him. This matter was serious. Even though his combat strength was comparable to a Heavenly Fish Realm warrior, he was still far from a high-level Heavenly Fish Realm warrior. If a top-level Heavenly Fish Realm warrior were to come, it would be, as Su Shan had said, that person would be able to kill him with a single palm. He wasn't afraid of death. He was just afraid that he would implicate his family again. This was something he didn't want to see. "Little Hey, what do you think I should do now?" Yang Wu was at his wit's end. He could only ask Little Hey for help. "You caused this, so you have to solve it yourself. This immortal emperor can't help you." Little Hey replied, "All right, then I'll solve it myself." Yang Wu had no choice but to agree after hearing Little Hey's words. He remembered that there was a period of time when Little Hey lost her powers and stayed in the Wolf Smoke mountain range. At that time, he had to solve all the problems on his own. Now that Little Hey's powers had recovered, he became dependent on her again. This couldn't be. There were some things that he had to take on independently. After some thought, Yang Wu decided to make a trip to the palace. He wasn't looking for Tang Xiaoan. He was looking for Qi Enzin. He believed that Qi Enzin would be able to give him a solution. Yang Wu's status was different from before. He had already received the Empress's permission to enter and leave the palace as he pleased. He didn't need to report anything. As the principal of the royal school, Qi Enzin's focus should be on the school. However, now that he had accepted the Empress as his disciple, he placed all his attention on the Empress. Firstly, it was to protect the Empress. Secondly, it was to guide her wholeheartedly to improve her powers. Yang Wu found the Empress and Qi Enzin. He first bowed to the Empress and then asked Qi Enzin, "Principal Qi, Mount Amei is coming to find trouble with me. What do you think I should do?" "Sai, this matter is also giving me a headache. Our current batch of disciples have yet to be brought back to Mount Amei. This isn't good news for our Xia. Qi Enzin sighed softly. He paused for a moment, and then said, I'm afraid that we will need Her Majesty to make an appearance for this matter. Tang Xiaoan wiped away her astonishment and said, Master, Mauname is the country's guardian power. Our Xia is under their jurisdiction. How can I order them around? Your Tang clan became the ruler of Xia because your Tang clan's ancestor occupied a place in Mauname. As long as you use the imperial sacred decree, perhaps Mauname won't dare to act rashly. Qi Enzin said, Imperial sacred decree? Could it be that? Tang Xiaohan seemed to have thought of something, and her face revealed a puzzled expression. Just as Yang Wu was having a headache over the people from Mauname, other people from the Transcendence quietly arrived at the Yang clan. Where's Viscount Yang Wu? Quickly get him to come out and welcome me. Chapter 456. Viscount Yang Wu. This title was already a thing of the past, yet there was still someone who called Yang Wu that. They were probably old friends. A year and a half ago, before Yang Wu was sent to the border, he was a hereditary viscount. Now, he was already a king. Even the Death Legion felt pressured by the sudden visit of the Yang clan's people. No one dared to act rashly. Their group was riding on ferocious spirit demons. Every spirit demon had a monstrous demonic aura. Even the weakest of them was at the Demon King level. There were even heavenly demons among them. It was obvious that they had a powerful background. The woman who had just spoken could only be considered average, but she was dressed very well. She wore a purple robe, a purple crown on her head, a sapphire belt, and a pair of purple cloud boots. She carried a purple sword on her back and rode on a lightning cat. Her noble aura was very strong, but upon closer inspection, her natural temperament was very ordinary. It could not be compared to her clothes. Beside her was a young man who was a few years older than her. He was only wearing a thin martial attire, but he had a golden dragon bracer on his arm and a golden lion belt on his waist that was quite dazzling. Under the sunlight, it shone with a golden light, domineering and threatening. This young man was riding on a golden lion. His eyes were raised high, and he was very arrogant. Behind him were 18 people. Each one of them had a monstrous battle aura. They were like generals who had just come from an ancient battlefield. The thick evil aura was very shocking. Ever since they came in from outside the city, no one dared to stop this group of people. Even the guards did not have that kind of courage. In the King City, there really was no faction that could have this kind of formation. This kind of faction was definitely not something that anyone could provoke. Who are you? Why are you looking for my king? Zheng Xiaohu walked out and asked the people in front of him. After the leading girl saw Zheng Xiaohu, she opened her mouth again and said, Who is your king? Could it be that Yang Jinan was promoted to king? That's not very possible. Zheng Xiaohu raised his eyes and said, The Yang Wu you speak of is my family's prince. Ha! Is there something wrong with your Grand Xia Emperor's brain? Why did he bestow Yang Wu the title of prince? Could it be that that guy got lucky? The young girl sneered with incomparable contempt. Junior sister Ziki, there's no need to waste words with them. Let's just barge in and explain everything clearly. After that, we'll leave. The young man beside the young girl said, Senior brother Tan, don't worry. I haven't returned to this city for 2 years. I need to have a good chat with them. The girl called Ziqi replied. Then she said to Zheng Xiaohu in a commanding tone, Quickly tell Yang Wu and Yang Jinan to come out and welcome me. Tell them that an old friend of the Z family has come to visit. Zheng Xiaohu was very displeased with this young girl's arrogant attitude. However, when he thought about how the other party should be familiar with their king and how the other party's background was not small, it was better to go back and report. The only one who could make decisions in a Yang manner was Su Rome. Yang Jinan was busy dealing with the matters of the Medicine King's pavilion, and Yang Wu had just entered the palace. After Su Rome heard Zheng Xiaohu's report, she said to herself, An old friend of the Z family. Could it be that the Z girl's family has returned? Invite them in. Su Rome ordered Zheng Xiaohu. She did not personally go out to welcome them. This was the dignity of nobility. Other than the emperor, no one was worthy of their dignity. This was the rule. Yes, madam, Zheng Xiaohu replied. He once again went outside the door and said to Ziqi and the others, You can come in now. What do you mean? Ziqi shouted in dissatisfaction. Our madam invites you in. Zhang Xiaohu repeated once again. It seems like you didn't understand what I just said. I asked everyone in the Yang Manor to come out and welcome us, not for you to invite us in. Ziqi emphasized. The young man beside Ziqi said, Junior sister Ziqi, they don't even put us in their eyes. I think we should just barge in. As soon as he finished speaking, he rode his diamond lion and charged towards Zhang Xiaohu. Zhang Xiaohu had already broken through the Earthsea realm and became a king. His reaction speed was naturally great, but in front of this young man, he did not even have the chance to react. He was hit by the other party's diamond lion. Pooh! This diamond lion's realm was clearly above Zhang Xiaohu's, causing him to spit out blood and fly away. Enemy attack! Enemy attack! The Death Legion members immediately cried out in alarm. What are you shouting for? The young man said disdainfully. He casually waved his hand, and a force struck the guard who had just opened his mouth, sending him flying. At the same time, the young man rode his diamond lion to the front of the Yang Manor's gate. The guards who had surrounded them were all shaken by the diamond lion's roar. They all fell to the ground and cried out in pain. Lion's roar was the demon lion's unique offensive ability. Who dares to barge into the Yang Manor? Do you want to die? Du Guang Buddha's voice rang out in alarm. Other than Du Guang Buddha, Xueji, Zhou Yong, and the others also rushed out. They were the main defense of the Yang Manor. Oh, I didn't expect a small mortal family to have a king-level guard. Interesting. The young man was surprised. Senior Brother Tan, take it easy. Don't actually kill them. Otherwise, if the Saintess finds out, we'll all be in trouble. Ziqi reminded the young man. The young man was called Tan Mo Fan. He replied, Don't worry, I'm just teaching them a lesson. I'm letting them know who they can and can't mess with. At this moment, Du Guang Buddha raised his staff and yelled at Tan Mo Fan, Get out of the Yang Manor immediately. Du Guang Buddha's response was a chain-like gold Xianqi attack. The force was very fast. Du Guang Buddha could not block it and was sent flying. Ding! Xueji flicked her embroidery needle at Tan Mo Fan's vitals without hesitation. Xueji's best skill was her embroidery needle art. She had already perfected it. The needle was extremely tiny. Even a cultivator with a higher cultivation level than Xueji would not be able to detect it. Just as Xueji thought she had succeeded, Tan Mo Fan waved his hand and caught the needle between his fingers. He said coldly, Not a bad hidden weapon. Here, take it back. Tan Mo Fan tossed the needle back. Xueji was unable to react in time, just like Du Guang Buddha. She clutched her face and cried out in pain. H. Zhou Yong lunged at Tan Mo Fan. His sword was like a gust of wind and lightning. He stabbed 13 times in an instant. The attack was fairly powerful. Tan Mo Fan's eyesight was outstanding. He saw Zhou Yong's attack clearly. He swung his golden dragon bracers and unleashed a dragon shadow, Xianqi. It instantly shattered Zhou Yong's attack. Zhou Yong's chest was hit by the dragon shadow, Xianqi. His body slammed into the door, leaving a large patch of red on his chest. Zhou Yong was the one with the worst injuries among them. Now, he was already breathing out more than he was inhaling. Let's see who else dares to come forward. Tan Mo Fan thought he could intimidate the people of the Yang clan. To his surprise, it only led to a greater backlash. Someone exclaimed, This man has injured our commander. Let's attack him together. Almost 100 people of the Army of Death surrounded Tan Mo Fan. They were not as strong as their commander, but they had the advantage in numbers. Each of them attacked Tan Mo Fan. They were determined to force him out of Prince Yang's mansion. You're asking for it. Tan Mo Fan was infuriated. He did not expect a small faction of the mortal world would dare to attack him. He let out a furious roar and charged into Prince Yang's mansion. Roar! The diamond lion roared again. The powerful sound wave knocked down a large number of people of the Army of Death. The people of the Army of Death could not pose a threat to Tan Mo Fan. He landed in the courtyard easily. Senior Brother Tan is too rude, Ziqi said with a smile. She did not look like she was blaming him at all. Instead, she looked proud. She then said to the people behind her, Let's go in together. Just as they were about to enter the Yang clan, there was a sudden surge of energy in the Yang clan. It instantly covered the courtyard of the Yang clan, isolating them from the outside world. Zichi, don't rush in, an old man behind Zichi called out. Deacon He, why are you doing this? Zichi turned around and asked the old man. There is something strange about this courtyard, the old man called Hijun said. He paused for a moment and said, let me go and take a look. Hijun was a spirited old man. He was the only one who didn't have a mount. He nimbly took a step forward and soared into the air above the Yang mansion. He felt the power of the Yang mansion and frowned. Then he stretched out a hand and grabbed at the power in front of the Yang mansion. Hijun's strength was extraordinary. The power in his hand contained an earth-shattering power. He tried to see if he could tear the power apart. Bang! Just as the power in his hand came into contact with the power of the Yang clan, there was a strong rebound force that attacked him. Hijun raised his eyebrows. He shifted his body and dodged the rebound force. He said to himself, the power of this formation is quite impressive. Could it be that the Yang clan has some kind of background? After all, Hijun came from Transcendent faction. His strength was definitely at the top of the mortal world. He was even invincible. He would not be frightened by the power in front of him. Break! Hijun yelled. He used 60% of his strength to hit the Yang clan's formation. Bang! Another shocking explosion rang out. The array formation did not break, and there was a rebounding force that blasted towards Hijun. After dodging it, Hijun was a little annoyed. He instantly activated the Xian-Chi of heaven and earth in a 1-mile radius. He used 70% of his strength to hit the Yang clan. His palm was like the sky was falling down. The power was terrifying. He was determined to destroy the Yang clan's formation. I don't believe a mere formation of the mortal world can stop me, Hijun yelled out in shock. He was about to hit the formation with his palm. At this moment, the power of the Yang clan's formation shook, and a figure was suddenly tossed out in Hijun's direction. After Hijun saw the person's face, he quickly dispersed the power and exclaimed, Mo Fan. Chapter 457. Hijun didn't expect Tan Mofan, who was quite strong, to be thrown out. Tan Mofan wasn't too outstanding among the younger generation, but he had already broken through to the advanced Earthsea realm. In this mortal world, even a top king was no match for him. He had only been in for a short while, and he was already thrown out. It was clear that there was a powerful person in the Yang mansion. Hijun caught Tan Mofan and found that he had already fainted. His chest was broken, and his breathing was extremely chaotic. Fortunately, he was still alive. Hijun quickly fed Tan Mofan a healing pill and landed on the ground with him. He said to his companions, Take care of Mofan. I'm going to destroy this place. Deacon He, how did senior brother Tan get hurt? Zichi asked in surprise. This Yang mansion is not simple. Hijun sighed softly and then said loudly to the Yang manor, Everyone inside, listen up. Quickly come out and admit your sins. Otherwise, this lord will destroy everything here. At this moment, someone walked out and asked, Who are you? Why do you have a problem with the Yang mansion? The person who walked out was Guishafe. He didn't dare to let Su Rome come out and ask questions. After all, this person had a bad attitude and was definitely looking for trouble. Who are we? You don't have a right to know. Come out and admit your mistakes. Otherwise, Hijun, can still wipe out a mere mortal family, Hijun said angrily. Zichi said from the side, Deacon He, the saintess has some ties with their family. I think we shouldn't make a big deal out of this for now. Let me talk to them. All right, I'll give them a chance. I hope they will cherish it, Hijun said in a deep voice. Zichi thanked him and rode her lightning cat forward to Guishafe. Who are you to the Yang family? Why didn't Yang Jinan and Yang Wu come out? I'm an old friend of theirs. Guishafe asked back. I'm just a guest of the Yang family. Since you're an old friend of the Yang family, why do you still have to offend them? This matter was caused by our recklessness. Let's forget about this matter for now. Call out the Yang clan's people and say that the Z clan's old friends have come to visit. Please come out for a chat. Zichi said with an arrogant expression. She remembered that in the past, she was nothing more than a lowly servant girl. Even now, she was still one. But in the mortal world, she could be considered a phoenix that flew up to a branch. Even if she faced the Emperor of Grand Xia, she would be able to face him on equal footing. Guo Xiaofei hesitated for a moment, but still decided to go back and ask Su Rome to come out. In any case, the Yang residence's array formation had already been activated, so no one could think of barging in. Su Rome walked out with a worried look on her face. Behind her was a little hay dog, which was just an ordinary pet. Little did he know that the little hay hound was the one who had sent Tan Mo Fan flying with the help of a formation. "Why are you looking for my husband and son?" Su Rome asked Ziqi and the others when she arrived at the entrance. She saw that Ziqi's face was somewhat familiar, but unfortunately, she could not recall who she was. She also did not recognize the people behind her. Deep suspicions arose in her heart. Could it be that Wu has provoked another enemy? "Mrs. Yang, do you still remember me? Ziqi?" Ziqi asked Su Rome. Su Rome looked at Ziqi seriously for a moment before asking, "Ziqi? Which Ziqi? You look a bit familiar, but I really can't remember where I've seen you before." Su Rome's words were definitely from the bottom of her heart. Furthermore, she did not have the slightest intention of looking down on Ziqi. She really could not remember. However, Ziqi did not think so. She felt that Su Rome was definitely doing it on purpose. She had even said her name. Furthermore, she had often seen Su Rome in the past, and Su Rome had even taken care of her a little. Now, Su Rome actually said that she did not know her. This was definitely something she could not tolerate. She thought to herself, "In the past, I was just a maid, so I respectfully called you madam. However, I am now an inner disciple of a transcendent world faction. You still dare to treat me like this. You really don't know what's good for you. Mrs. Yang, you really have a short memory. Our Z family used to live next to your Yang family," Ziqi said with a cold smile. After Ziqi's reminder, Su Rome remembered. She happily said, "I remember now. You're that girl you use maid, Ziqi, right? I never thought that you would become so beautiful. Even I couldn't recognize you." After pausing for a moment, she said to the people beside her, "Quickly let them in. The Z family has always had a good relationship with our Yang family." When Ziqi heard these words, she felt even more ridiculed and extremely uncomfortable. After she had followed her miss to the transcendent world, her status had become extraordinary. Even the princesses of the mortal world could not compare to her. Ziqi reprimanded Su Rome. "Su Rome, I don't have time to talk nonsense with you. Quickly let Yang Wu out. I have something to say to him. If you have something to say, wait until we enter the house. We'll be back soon." Su Rome still did not realize that Ziqi was being disrespectful to her. She still wanted to enthusiastically lead her into the house. "We can't let them in," Guo Xiaofei said very firmly. Then he added, "Just now they forcefully broke in and injured our people. I think we should wait for His Highness to come back before we deal with them." Su Rome was a bit embarrassed. She was not a brainless person. After hearing Guo Xiaofei's reminder, she felt that there was something wrong with Ziqi's group. Ziqi said, "Su Rome, you should know that we are people from the transcendent world. If you don't remove the array and hand over the culprit that injured my senior brother, then your Yang family will cease to exist." Ziqi already did not want to be polite with Su Rome. She was already impatient from waiting. "Ziqi, what do you want to do? Our Yang family and your Z family do not have any bad relationship." Su Rome was very confused as she asked, "You should ask your good son about this. Our miss is not someone that he can match up to," Ziqi said in a condescending manner. Su Rome frowned and said, "Then you can leave. My son will not match up to your Mississippi." Su Rome was very protective of her son. When she heard that the other party looked down on her son, she did not plan to pretend to be nice. "Deacon he, do as you see fit." Ziqi did not want to waste time with Su Rome and said to He Zhen, who was beside her, "And I'll tear this place down." He Zhening shouted and waved both of his palms. Two powerful, profound qi formed a blue storm and fiercely smashed towards Su Rome's direction. Guo Xiaofei was already prepared. Before He Zhen made his move, he protected Su Rome and quickly retreated into the house. Just as they retreated, Hejun's power heavily slammed into the Yang family's front door. Boom! This time, Hejun was determined to destroy the Yang family. He used 80% of his power, which was enough to kill a mid-level heavenly fish. He felt that it would be enough to break the Yang family's formation. Who would have thought that Hejun would miscalculate again? The power he blasted out was once again reflected, and it was directed towards him and Ziqi behind him. If he dodged, the people behind him would definitely suffer. He could only grit his teeth and use a powerful push hand to send the rebounding power flying. When he came into contact with the rebounding power, he realized that the rebounding power was much stronger than the power he had just blasted out. It forced him back several meters before he was able to stop the rebounding power. This time, Ziqi and the people behind her all widened their eyes. They could not understand how this small place could have such a powerful formation that even Deacon he could not do anything about. Hejun was so angry that his face turned ashen. He felt that his dignity had been greatly challenged. When he was about to attack again, Ziqi spoke first. Deacon, why don't you wait for us to spread out a bit before you attack? Don't you trust this old man? Hejun asked in dissatisfaction. No. I feel that this formation is a bit strange. If we want to break it by force, I'm afraid that it will take some effort. Let's let our senior brother Lu see what kind of formation this is and see if he can break it. Wouldn't that be better? Ziqi suggested. She was also afraid that this deacon would use all his strength and the rebounding power would destroy them. At this time, a man around 30 years old walked out and said, Deacon, this should be the mirror defense formation. It has the power to reflect attacks and cannot be broken by force. Then what can you do? Hejun asked. He knew that this disciple named Lu Huaicai specialized in formations. His ability to set up and break formations was quite good. If Lu Huaicai could break the formation, then he could save some effort. It won't be easy to break this kind of formation. Fortunately, I have some good things on me this time. Perhaps I can break this formation. Lu Huaicai said confidently. All right, hurry up and break this formation. I'm going to tear this place apart. Hejun replied. Leave it to me, Deacon. Lu Huaicai said confidently. He took out an item and walked towards the Yang clan's main gate. The item in his hand was a flag. It looked quite old and gave off an ancient aura. Lu Huaicai arrived in front of the Yang clan's main gate and poured energy into the flag in his hand. He shouted, Lock formation flag, escape I lock. In the next moment, he fiercely stabbed the flag into the ground. He used the flag to find a formation I and locked it, destroying the Yang clan's formation. Little Hay, who was in the Yang clan's main gate, had been paying attention to everything outside. When he saw Lu Huaicai do this, he laughed coldly in his heart. How can a small formation master like you break the chain mirror killing formation that this celestial emperor set up? With the locked formation flag in hand, any formation under the heavens can be broken. Lu Huaicai's energy rushed into the Yang clan's main gate. He was very confident that he could break this formation. Ziqi, Hejun, and the others were all waiting for Lu Huaicai to succeed. Their gazes were all focused on him. Suddenly, there was an explosion where Lu Huaicai was standing. He seemed to be standing on top of a cannon and was sent flying into the sky. Chapter 458. The Xia Imperial Palace. This place had been shaken several times, but it still stood firm. This proved that this was a stable and reliable imperial palace. Now, the imperial palace's reputation was unprecedentedly strong. This was all because after the empress ascended to the throne, she eradicated Prince Fu and Prime Minister Song, Medicine King Pavilion, and other traitors one by one. She returned the imperial palace to a peaceful state and prevented the imperial palace from being massacred. In addition, when Yang Wu was promoted to the position of king of the opposite sex, he had created countless miracles. Although his reputation was mixed, no one could deny that he was the most outstanding king in the history of Great Xia. As long as he assisted the empress, Great Xia would be able to safely pass through the special period where the new and old emperors were replaced. Yang Wu was discussing with the empress and Shi Enzin about how to deal with the people from Mount Amei. He sensed something in his heart and seemed to hear little Hei's voice. Something happened at home. At the same time, he and Qi Yinzhen sensed a strong power surge outside the imperial palace. They both rushed out of the main hall. It's coming from the direction of your Yang mansion. Qi Yinzhen looked at Yang Wu and said. Yang Wu frowned and said, "Did the people from Mount Amei arrive so quickly?" He then said to the Empress, "Your Majesty, I have something to do. I will leave first." In the next moment, he had already rushed out of the imperial palace. He was afraid that something would happen at home. Tang Xiaohan walked out of the main hall and asked Qi Yinzhen, "Master, what happened?" "Something happened at Prince Yang's mansion," Qi Yinzhen said in a deep voice. He paused for a moment and said, "It's an attack by a heaven realm cultivator. Then you should quickly go and help him." Tang Xiaohan ordered, "I'm afraid it's a diversion." "It's fine. I plan to go to the Imperial Mausoleum. No one can hurt me there." "Okay, I will send your Majesty there first. Then I will go and take a look." Prince Yang's mansion was not far from the Imperial Palace. With Yang Wu's speed, he appeared in front of his house after a few ups and downs. When he came back, he happened to see Lu Huaicai blown away by the explosion. Lu Huaicai was very miserable. He thought that he could break the array with the array locking flag, but this array was more terrifying than he imagined. His power was reflected back. He did not have the ability to react like Hizhan. His legs were blown up until they were dripping with blood. Even the white bones were exposed. It was a ghastly sight. Hizhan pulled Lu Huaicai back and immediately fed him a healing pill. Ziqi said gloomily, "What kind of array is this? It's so hard to break." "Let me do it." "I don't believe that a mere mortal clan's array formation would be so impressive," Hizhan said with a sharp glint in his eyes. Just as he was about to attack, Yang Wu appeared behind them and said faintly, "I don't care who you are. Get the hell out of here." Yang Wu could feel that these people were not ordinary. He was afraid that they were from the transcendent world. He suspected that they were from Mount Amei. Ziqi, Hizhan, and the others turned around to look. They saw a handsome young man striding towards them. "Viscount Yang Wu." Ziqi cried out involuntarily after seeing Yang Wu. At first, she had a look of awe on her face, but quickly disappeared. Her face was once again filled with pride. Hizhan asked from the side, "He's the mortal world brat that the Saintess is worried about." "That's right. It's him," Ziqi replied. "He does have some ability, but he's still far from being worthy of the Saintess." Hizhan evaluated. Ziqi was a bit surprised. She knew that everyone in her faction had very high standards, especially an inner court deacon like Hizhan. It was hard to find anyone in the mortal world that they would look up to. However, Hizhan evaluated Yang Wu as having some ability. That meant that Yang Wu was already quite good. He could even be compared to inner court disciples like her. At this time, Yang Wu had already arrived in front of them. His gaze fell on Ziqi. His face revealed an astonished expression as he asked, "You're Ziqi?" Ziqi raised her chin and said, "I didn't think that Viscount Yang Wu would still remember me." She then said, "It's good that you're back. I have something to tell you." Ziqi was still riding on her lightning cat. She had no intention of getting off. She looked down at Yang Wu. She was putting on airs in front of Yang Wu. Yang Wu didn't have time to pay attention to these details. He walked in front of Ziqi and excitedly asked, "Where's Ziyu? Did she come back with you?" Ziyu was a girl that Yang Wu was worried about. The two of them grew up together and could be considered childhood sweethearts. "Slug, hurry up and go home. Big Brother wants to defeat all those people that bullied you." "I don't want to. I want to advance and retreat together with Big Brother Wu." "Slug, Big Brother is a martial arts genius that only appears once in 1,000 years. You won't be wrong to follow me. In the future, you'll definitely become an unparalleled expert. No one will be able to bully you. I know that Big Brother Wu is the strongest person under the heavens. Even if you're beaten to tears, you'll still look good." "Who's beaten to tears? Big Brother only got sand in his mouth. Don't talk nonsense." "NN. Big Brother Wu, I also want to practice martial arts. Why don't you check my body and see if I'm suitable to practice martial arts?" Cough, cough. "Little girl, don't tempt Big Brother. Big Brother is a very pure person. If you want to check, you should find someone else. It's not good to do it in public." Yang Wu thought back to the time he spent with Slug. His face was brimming with a warm smile. Yang Wu and Zi Yu's relationship was something that outsiders couldn't understand. They had stuck together since they were young and were very familiar with each other. Furthermore, they had already pledged their lives to each other. This was also the reason why Yang Wu had always held back when facing Wan Lanxin and Tang Xiaoan. In his heart, there was already someone that he loved dearly. How dare you? How dare you call the saintess by her name? The person beside Zi Qi reprimanded Yang Wu. Yang Wu frowned. The scene of Zi Yu being taken away 2 years ago flashed through his mind. It was also this group of people that appeared and forcibly separated them. Presumably, the Zi clan had a great relationship with these people. While Yang Wu was thinking, Zi Qi said, Yang Wu, I'm here today on the orders of my young miss to tell you something. From today onwards, forget about my young Mississippi. She is no longer someone that you can climb up to. Your previous vow ends here. Here is an interspatial ring. There are 10,000 high-grade Xian spirit stones, 10 king pills, and some king secret arts and king techniques. Consider it my young Mrs. compensation to you. From today onwards, you have nothing to do with each other. After hearing Zi Qi's words, Yang Wu's face instantly paled. He looked at the interspatial ring that Zi Qi threw at him, but he didn't catch it. He let it fall to the ground. At this moment, Yang Wu's mind was blank. He couldn't accept Zi Qi's words. Zi Qi smiled and shouted, Yang Wu, pick up the interspatial ring immediately. Otherwise, you'll have to bear the consequences. She liked to see Yang Wu's soulless appearance. She had already achieved her goal. As long as she handled this matter well, there would be a lot of benefits waiting for her when she returned. In her heart, she believed that in the mortal world, no matter who it was, if they could obtain a batch of Xian spirit stones and king's items, it would be an unimaginable fortune. She believed that Yang Wu would compromise. Yang Wu gradually came back to his senses and silently picked up the interspatial ring. Zi Qi spoke again. That's right. The matter between you and my young miss is over. Next, it's time to settle the matter of your Yang family injuring my 2 senior brothers. Kneel down and apologize to my 2 senior brothers. As long as they forgive you, this matter will be over. She remembered that in the past, when she was serving her young miss would often accompany Yang Wu. Later on, her young miss found her annoying and would think of ways to send her away. This caused her to be scolded by the master and madam of her family every time. From then on, she didn't have a good impression of Yang Wu. Now that she had followed her young miss to become a superior person, in her eyes, Yang Wu was even more unworthy of her young miss. This time, she came back to step on Yang Wu and let him know that the distance between her and her young miss was extremely large. Tan Mofin and Lu Whiteside's injuries had stabilized. They had consumed healing pills and used secret healing techniques to recover very quickly. This was the foundation of the transcendent world's forces. Kneel down and kowtow to us to admit your wrongs. Tan Mofin reprimanded. Lu Whiteside then said, just admitting your wrongs isn't enough. I still need to go in and research what kind of array it is. If you have an array diagram for it, that would be great. Yang Wu held the interspatial ring as he coldly said, can you be a bit more shameless? Yang Wu, what do you mean by that? Do you know where we came from? If you don't do as my senior brothers say, then your Yang family can wait to be exterminated. Zi Qi said with a threatening tone. Yang Wu stared at Zi Qi with a fierce look as he said, Zi Qi, you're just a little maid. You're not worthy of speaking in front of this king. All of you scram. After saying this, he threw the interspatial ring in his hand back to Zi Qi. Yang Wu didn't want to waste time with Zi Qi. He didn't believe that this was something that Zi Yu would say. Moreover, he began to hate the people in front of him. Zi Qi caught the interspatial ring and pointed at Yang Wu as she shouted, Yang Wu, you really think you're some big shot. Even if you're the emperor of the Grand Xia, you still have to kneel down and greet us when you see people from the Purple Firmament Hall. I'll give you one more chance. Immediately kneel down and admit your wrongs. Yang Wu began to laugh loudly as he said, haha, the one who really thinks there's some big shot is you. No matter where you come from, it doesn't matter here. This king doesn't have time to deal with you. Very good. Today, I'll personally teach you a lesson. I'll let you understand the difference between the transcendent world and the mortal world." Zichi shouted several times as she charged towards Yang Wu on the Thunderbolt Cat. Moreover, she swung the whip in her hand towards Yang Wu's neck. When Zichi made her move, Yang Wu was shocked. He discovered that Zichi's cultivation had already entered the early stage of the Earth-Sea realm. 2 years ago, she was still a weak maid. 2 years later, she had already reached the early stage of the Earth-Sea realm. What kind of cultivation speed was this? Chapter 459. In the past, when Yang Wu and Ziyu were together, Yang Wu felt that Zichi, Ziyu's maid, was very good. Even if he had to think of ways to send her away, he would still give her some silver pieces so that she could buy some food as a reward. Moreover, because of Ziyu, he didn't really see her as a servant. This was closely related to the Yang Wu's upbringing. Everyone in the Yang family was amiable and kind. Who would have thought that after not seeing each other for 2 years, Zichi would become like this? Could it be that the shy little girl from before was just pretending? If that was really the case, then her scheming was too terrifying. In fact, all of this was closely related to Zichi's experience. She wasn't born in a good family and was sold by her father to the Z family as a maid. Even though Ziyu treated her very well and treated her like a sister, she always felt that Ziyu was very hypocritical and that her kindness was all fake. Her status as a servant never changed, but the concept of hierarchy had long been imprinted in her heart. Therefore, she didn't dare to do anything bad to Ziyu. However, it was different now. Following the change in Ziyu's status, she also flew up to become a phoenix and became an inner disciple of the transcendent world's Purple Heaven Pavilion. Her strength had increased by leaps and bounds, and she had gotten rid of her previous inferiority complex. Furthermore, she had become arrogant and overbearing. This was the personality she had suppressed for a long time. Today, she returned to the mortal world to show off her strength. The long whip in her hand was like a spirit snake as it wrapped around Yang Wu's neck. Traces of purple profound qi contained a powerful killing power. Once it wrapped around Yang Wu's neck, even if he didn't die, he would still be heavily injured. It could be seen that she didn't care about their past relationship. Yang Wu had completely given up on Zichi. Originally, when he first saw her, he was in a very good mood. He thought that Ziyu had returned, but who knew that she would bring such news? He was already incomparably angry in his heart. But Zichi still dared to treat him like this. In his eyes, not only had she become a stranger, she was even infinitely close to being an enemy. Just as Zichi's whip was about to land on his neck, he stretched out a hand and easily caught the whip in his hand, not letting her have her way. "It's not too late for you to get lost now. I'm not in the mood to waste my time with you." Yang Wu was still annoyed by the matter of Mauname. He really did not want to cause more trouble. However, in Zichi's eyes, Yang Wu was afraid of her. "Looks like you've improved a lot in the past 2 years. You're able to catch my whip, but you're still far from it. Let go," Zichi coldly said. She poured her Xian Qi into the whip and transferred her Thunder Xian Qi to Yang Wu's palm. It was completely capable of crippling Yang Wu's palm. Unfortunately, she overestimated herself once again. Yang Wu's palm was as steady as a boulder. It was not affected in the slightest. Hijin opened his mouth and said, "Zichi, back off. You're not his opponent." Zichi did not listen to his advice. She sternly said, "He's just a lowly commoner of the mortal world. Even if he has a little bit of strength, how can he be compared to me? Kitty, cripple him." After she finished speaking, the Thunderbolt Cat she was riding on leaped over and clawed at Yang Wu's face. The Thunderbolt Cat's speed was fast, and its claws were sharp. In an instant, it was already in front of Yang Wu. Yang Wu was furious. He shouted, "Get lost!" Bang! His attack was as fast as lightning. Not many people on the scene could catch it. He kicked the Thunderbolt Cat's abdomen, sending it and Zichi flying. Ah! Zichi let out a blood-curdling scream. She was an Earth-Sea Realm King, but her combat experience was too lacking. Furthermore, Yang Wu's kick was too powerful. Even though it landed on the Thunderbolt Cat first, she was still greatly affected. Just as she was about to fall to the ground, Hijin reached out. A gentle force easily supported her and the Thunderbolt Cat, preventing them from falling to the ground. Shit, you dare to hurt junior sister Zichi. I'll cripple you. Tan Fan cursed angrily. He leaped up and attacked Yongwu. He had been injured by the Yang clan's formation when he broke in. After some healing, he had already recovered 70 to 80%. It was enough for him to teach Yongwu a lesson. Tan Fan was an advanced Earth-Sea Realm king. He was only a step away from the peak Earth-Sea Realm. His combat strength was abnormally strong. He could definitely dominate among the kings of the mortal world. He was confident that he could take down Yongwu. Tan Fan landed on top of Yongwu like an eagle. He extended a golden claw toward Yongwu's head. Yongwu raised his head and threw a simple punch at Tan Fan. This punch didn't even have Xian Qi. However, the power it contained was extremely powerful. It shattered Tan Fan's golden claw in an instant. Tan Fan was shocked. He didn't retreat. Instead, he turned his claw into a fist and smashed down on Yongwu again. Yongwu attacked again. He still didn't use Xian Qi. The two fists collided with each other and produced a dull sound. Tan Fan was sent flying by Yongwu. Tan Fan spun in the air. A wave of pain came from his fist, causing his entire arm to feel numb and uncomfortable. When everyone saw this scene, they were shocked. They knew that Tan Fan's combat strength was strong enough. He was ranked among the top among the inner disciples. However, he was actually forced to retreat by a youth from the mortal world. This made them feel that it was inconceivable. It seems like I've underestimated you. I didn't think that there would be someone like you in the mortal world. Even if I'm injured today, I'll trample you under my feet. In order to avoid the embarrassment of being forced back, Tan Fan had no choice but to mention that he was injured. If he wasn't injured, he wouldn't have been forced back by Yongwu. Golden Dragon Flip. Tan Fan no longer held back. He always felt that Yongwu gave him an unfathomable feeling. However, as a disciple of the Purple Heaven Pavilion, he was never afraid of challenges. The stronger he met, the stronger he became. That was their motto. He waved the arm of the Golden Dragon Bracer and furiously lashed out at Yongwu. It was as if a golden dragon had flipped over. That powerful, profound energy fell from the sky, surging violently. Yongwu calmly looked at this attack and indifferently said, "I really don't know where your sense of superiority comes from." After he finished speaking, he extended a claw and pinched toward the golden dragon. The golden dragon simply couldn't escape his claw and was directly torn in half. At the same time, he flew up and instantly appeared in front of Tan Fan. He fiercely slapped Tan Fan's face. Huh! This was a crisp slap that made Tan Fan's face burn unbearably. He was just about to counterattack when Yongwu had already violently slapped him more than 10 times, causing him to be at a loss of what to do. The people of the Purple Heaven Pavilion were all dumbfounded. They felt that Yongwu's strength wasn't bad, but they had seriously underestimated him. Yongwu was much stronger than they had imagined. "Impudent, you dare to injure junior brother Tan." Lu Huaicai angrily cursed. He flew up and charged toward Yongwu. Cyan Colt Fist. Lu Huaicai struck out with profound chi. He charged forward like a Cyan Colt, his speed turning into a meteor as he struck toward Yongwu's heart with an extremely powerful offensive force. This was a peak king skill. Lu Huaicai's strength was also above Tan Fan's. He was a genuine peak king. Even if he only used 90% of his strength, he was still stronger than Tan Fan. When Lu Huaicai made his move, Yongwu had already sensed that these transcendent realm disciples were very strong. They were the strongest he had encountered in the king realm. Unfortunately, they were still not enough for him. Yongwu threw Tan Fan toward Lu Huaicai, forcing Lu Huaicai's punch to return without any effect. Yongwu also took advantage of this moment to rush over and consecutively kick out with Wind God's legs. Lu Huaicai wasn't Tan Fan. He had already been prepared. When he easily caught Tan Fan, he used a strange movement to dodge Yongwu's attack. He then counterattacked with a punch. The speed of his punch was very fast, almost enough to challenge a heavenly fish realm expert. Yang Wu had no choice but to face the opponent's strength head-on. He continuously retreated and didn't continue to be entangled. After he opened up a certain distance, he said, "I have no intention of becoming your enemy. Please don't force me." It's too late to say anything now. Lu Huaicai threw Tan Mo fan behind him and strode forward to catch up with Yang Wu. Both of his fists frantically struck out. Streaks of cyan fist energy were like the hooves of a green colt, locking down Yang Wu's position. He didn't give Yang Wu a chance to escape and wanted to heavily injure him. Lu Huaicai had already used all of his strength in this wave of power. His attacking skills were also quite experienced, displaying the demeanor of a young disciple of the transcendent realm. Senior brother Lu is so strong. A trace of excitement flashed across Zi Qi's face. She then continued, "Step on Yang Wu, he's just a toad." Yang Wu began to take Lu Huaicai seriously. His opponent's strength was indeed comparable to his when he was in the intermediate Earthsea realm. Unfortunately, he was now in the advanced Earthsea realm. He could even challenge an intermediate heavenly fish realm expert. So how could he be afraid of Lu Huaicai? He still didn't use his Xian Qi. After using his eyesight to catch Lu Huaicai's attack, he simply and violently attacked. Straight punch, hook punch, whip punch. Yang Wu only used the soldier fist, but there was a faint aura being released. In the eyes of others, his fist technique was simple and effective, dissolving all of Lu Huaicai's attacks. The more Lu Huaicai fought, the more furious he became. He was no longer holding back, but he still couldn't injure Yang Wu. He cried out in alarm, "Green colt shakes the earth." He spread out his profound wings and leaped into the air like a heavenly colt. When the colt's hooves fell, it seemed as if the heavens and earth would be torn apart. This tyrannical attack power was already comparable to an ordinary heavenly fish realm expert. Yang Wu faced this attack, but he didn't dodge. Instead, he mobilized the strength in his arms and continued to throw out simple punches. Fist intent had already quietly gathered on his fist and collided with Lu Huaicai's fist. Bang! Lu Huaicai and Yang Wu were both pushed back by the power of both sides. However, the former was pushed back 10 meters, while the latter was only pushed back a few steps. Anyone with a discerning eye could see who was stronger and who was weaker. Is this all a disciple of the transcendent realm can do? Yang Wu said as he shook his head in disappointment. Lu Huaicai was thoroughly enraged. "Yang Wu, you dare to look down on me? Then I'll let you see my true ability." Lu Huaicai said coldly. His aura changed, and he once again threw out his fists. This time, it was accompanied by surging fist intent, and the power of his fists instantly increased. Heavenly Skill, Pegasus Fist. Chapter 460. Pegasus Fist. This was a very powerful heaven-grade battle skill. It could increase the strength of the fist by 2 to 3 times. With this fist, Lu Huaicai could challenge an ordinary heavenly fish realm expert. The sky was filled with cyan fist aura that contained fist intent as it flew towards Yang Wu. Before the fist even arrived, there was already a strong sense of oppression. A large amount of dust was raised, and the surrounding trees were all broken by this force. Su Romei, who was in the Yangfu, already knew everything that was happening outside. She stood in the pavilion of the house and watched as her son was bullied. Her heart ached as she worriedly said, "Why is my son's life so bitter?" Guo Xiaofei stood beside Su Romei and said, "Sister-in-law, you don't have to worry. His Highness is very strong and is not someone who can be easily bullied. Once this matter is over, we'll move to a secluded place. As long as our family is safe, that's better than anything else." Su Romei replied. As a woman, she did not need her son to be successful. As long as he was safe and happy, she would be satisfied. "I don't bully others, but others bully me." Yang Wu's anger rose. He really did not want to cause more trouble, but these troubles kept coming to find him. He released a domineering aura and no longer kept a low profile. Otherwise, others would think that he was easy to bully. No matter who wanted to deal with him, he would make them pay the price. Barbarian Horse Fist. Yang Wu no longer held back. He brandished the Barbarian Horse Fist. The barbarian god's arm exploded with a powerful force. Like a meteor, his fist blocked Lu Huaicai's attack and did not let the opponent's fist touch his body. Lu Huaicai's Pegasus fist was very fast, but Yang Wu's barbarian horse fist was not slow either. Both sides' fists constantly collided. In the air, there was a boundless amount of profound qi that splashed in all directions. When this profound qi fell to the ground, deep pits appeared. Fortunately, the Yang mansion was protected by an array. Otherwise, the aftermath of the two's battle would be enough to flatten the Yang mansion. I didn't expect Yang Wu to be so strong, Tan Mo Fan said with a frown. Then he asked Zi Qi, "Junior sister Zi Qi, didn't you say that Yang Wu was at most a warrior?" Regarding this question, Zi Qi was also quite depressed. She replied, 2 years ago, he wasn't even a warrior, although his cultivation talent was not bad, breaking through to the human realm. I thought that was his limit. Who would have known that he actually reached this realm? Maybe he obtained a great opportunity. He-Zhan said from the side, "If I'm not mistaken, this Yang Wu is already at the advanced Earthsea realm. Moreover, his foundation is very solid. Even in our Purple Heaven Pavilion, he can be considered a good seedling." When Ziqi heard He-Zhan's high evaluation of Yang Wu, her expression turned even uglier. She came back this time to make Yang Wu retreat. Who would have thought that Yang Wu would be forced to this point? She thought to herself, no matter what caused Yang Wu to reach his current strength, in another year, the young miss will definitely come back to find him. If he continues to grow, the young miss will definitely insist on being with him. For the sake of the young miss's future, I must make him completely disappear. Deacon He, no matter if senior brother Lu wins or loses, I hope you can kill Yang Wu. Ziqi transmitted her voice to He-Zhan. He-Zhan frowned and said, "If the Saintess knows about this old man won't be able to escape death. At the very least, you have to cripple him. Don't forget what the Holy Sun told us to do." Ziqi said. She paused for a moment before adding, "You also don't want the Saintess to marry a lowly person from the mortal realm, right?" He-Zhan hesitated for a moment before nodding. When he looked at Yang Wu again, he treated Yang Wu as a dead man. Even if Yang Wu's battle strength was amazing, it wasn't worth mentioning in He-Zhan's eyes. Lu Huaicai still couldn't take down Yang Wu. He pushed his speed to the limit and prepared to use the advantage of his movement skill to catch Yang Wu off guard. However, even though he was fast, Yang Wu was faster. Yang Wu also didn't want to be entangled with him. When Lu Huaicai appeared beside him and attacked, he turned into an afterimage and appeared behind Lu Huaicai. Lu Huaicai continuously punched. Every punch was like a raindrop bombarding Lu Huaicai's body, knocking him down from the sky. Just as Yang Wu wanted to pursue, 3 people from the Purple Heaven Pavilion soared into the sky and blocked Yang Wu's path. Moreover, they attacked Yang Wu at the same time. These people's strength had already reached the Earthsea realm. They cooperated well and attacked together, forcing Yang Wu to retreat. Just as Yang Wu was about to take them down, Lu Huaicai had already regrouped and attacked. He roared, "Get out of the way! I don't believe that I can't kill him." At this moment, Lu Huaicai had already put on a pair of boxing gloves and gathered all of his strength into his fists. A kind of innate talent had been stimulated by him. This innate talent was called Fist Shadow, and it was his trump card. He definitely didn't want to expose it so easily. However, he was now inferior to a youth from the mortal realm. It was hard for him to swallow this anger. Skyhorse Overlapping Shadows Fist. This was a fist technique that Lu Huaicai created by combining his innate talent with the Skyhorse Fist. Thousands of Skyhorse Fist shadows appeared in the sky. Each one was so real, and the speed of the fists was incomparably fast. It was as if the sky was going to explode. The innate talent of the fist shadow allowed the fist to appear in layers of overlapping shadows, making it difficult for people to distinguish the real from the fake. This was not something that could be compared to the illusion caused by speed. Yang Wu's eyesight was amazing, but he couldn't tell which one of the punches was real. For the first time, he revealed a dignified expression and entered a defensive battle state. His body was wrapped in 3 layers of blue armor, and he continued to punch out to block the punches that were coming at him. Bang, bang. No matter how Yang Wu blocked them, Lu Huaicai's fists still landed on his body, causing cracks to appear on his armor. Some of the fist force entered his body. If it were anyone else, they would definitely suffer internal injuries from this fist force. However, Yang Wu could completely withstand it. He was someone who could even withstand sky thunder. These punches are all real, but the strength of the fist force is different. Yang Wu made a judgment in his heart. In the next moment, he began to counterattack. Blindly defending wasn't his strategy. Dragon Turtle Sea-Turning Technique. When Yang Wu withstood Lu Huaicai's attack, he reorganized his attack and executed his ultimate move, wanting to forcefully suppress Lu Huaicai. As the Dragon Turtle Sea-Turning Technique, no matter how many fist forces landed, they were all blocked by the Dragon Turtle and were all reflected back. At this moment, Yang Wu suddenly felt that the Dragon Turtle Sea-Turning Technique, which had been stagnant for a long time, was about to reach the realm of great success. Rumble, rumble. As the two moves intersected, countless profound chi surged. Countless clouds in the sky were shaken and scattered. The commotion here had already attracted the attention of the ancient martial art practitioners in the royal city. However, they only dared to watch from afar and didn't dare to approach at all. A battle of this level wasn't something they could participate in. As a commander of the Imperial Guards, Yang Jinnan's job was to maintain the peace of the royal city. Even though he was in the Medicine King Pavilion, he quickly rushed back when he sensed the commotion. Other than him, there were also various kings. They all wanted to see what was going on. Recently, the royal city hadn't had a moment of peace. They were all somewhat numb. After the two moves ended, Lu Huaicai was hit in the face by Yang Wu's power. Several of his front teeth were knocked out and blood spurted out. He looked very miserable. When he wanted to counterattack, Yang Wu was already close to him and shouted, "Don't pretend to be weak in front of me. The consequences are very serious." Bang, bang. Yang Wu seized the opportunity and violently beat Lu Huaicai's face. He beat him until even his mother couldn't recognize him. "Quick, save senior brother Lu." Ziqi was worried that something would happen to Lu Huaicai and hurriedly shouted to the people beside her. When those people wanted to attack again, He-Zhan said, "Let me do it." After saying that, he shot out a force from a distance and chased after Yang Wu. He-Zhan's control of his power had already reached the point of perfection. In an instant, he was already behind Yang Wu. Unexpectedly, Yang Wu seemed to have eyes at the back of his head. He grabbed Lu Huaicai and turned around to block, allowing Lu Huaicai to block He-Zhan's attack for him. He-Zhan was dumbfounded. He didn't expect Yang Wu to react so quickly. At the critical moment, he used Lu Huaicai as a shield. This time he was enraged. "Young man, you're very impressive." He-Zhan flew up and said to Yang Wu, "Compared to you, old man, I'm still far behind." Yang Wu said modestly, "Do you know who we are? You've continuously gone against us. You won't have a good ending." He-Zhan warned, "What a joke. You're the ones who've been provoking us." Yang Wu replied, "We're from the Purple Heaven Pavilion. You might not have heard of us, but it doesn't matter. I'll explain it to you now." He-Zhan said faintly. He then said, "You should have heard of the Transcendent Realm. You're under the jurisdiction of Mount Amei, so you should know what kind of power Mount Amei is. Our Purple Heaven Pavilion is even more powerful than Mount Amei. If you know what's good for you, let him go. Then I'll cripple your strength and give you a way out. Otherwise, the only thing that awaits you is death. Choose." Yang Wu, Deacon, he isn't trying to scare you. My young miss is already the saint of the Purple Heaven Pavilion. It's impossible between you and her. Since you're acquainted with my young miss, you should cripple yourself." Ziqi said from below. Yang Wu threw Lu Huaicai to the side and laughed. "If you said that to me personally, I wouldn't even mind giving her my life. But now, no matter what you say, I don't care. If you want to cripple me, then bring it on." "Ignorant child," He-Zhan said disdainfully. He was ready to attack Yang Wu. Just as Yang Wu was ready, Qianzhen rushed over and said, "Everyone, if you have something to say, let's talk it out. There's no need to use weapons." Just as Qianzhen appeared, people from Mauname came again. Chapter 461. Ever since Jilan Yu suddenly left Mauname last time, Song Jing, Hung Junbo, and the rest have been staying in the Song residence until the imperial court confiscated Prime Minister Song's property. This time, people from Mauname came again, but it was not as simple as the last time. This was definitely the first time that Jilan Yu, a dignified deacon of the outer sect, had returned empty-handed in the mortal world. Their comeback was the result of many discussions between the upper echelons. They had sent a total of 36 elite soldiers, riding on an ancient war chariot. Their goal was to go directly to the palace, but they sensed the fierce battle happening above the Yang residence, so they changed their target and rushed to the Yang residence first. Among the 36 people, 26 were women and only 10 were men. The ratio was seriously imbalanced. The leader of the Mauname group this time was Jilan Yu's senior sister, Du Li Juan. She was an inter-sect deacon, and her position was much higher than Jilan Yu's. Du Li Juan looked like a young woman in her early 30s. She wore a Taoist robe and had a high hairstyle. She held a horsetail whisk and had a stern face, giving off an unapproachable feeling. Beside her were Jilan Yu, Song Jing, Huan Junbo, some young and beautiful female disciples, and some other men. Their ancient chariot was pulled by 7 birds at the same time. Before they reached the Yang residence, Qi Inzin stopped He Jun from attacking Yang Wu. He Jun could feel that Qi Inzin's strength was not ordinary. He glanced at him and said, "Do you dare to meddle in the affairs of our Purple Night Pavilion?" I don't dare. Let's talk nicely. There's no need to get angry. This is the imperial city of our Xia kingdom. I feel that we need to respect the rules of our imperial city. Please don't make things difficult for me. Qi Inzin advised. Qi Inzin's horizons were extraordinary. He could tell that these people before him had extraordinary origins. If he could avoid offending them, it would be best if he didn't offend them. Otherwise, it would bring endless trouble to Grand Xia. Recently, Grand Xia had experienced too many things. Peace was the most important thing. This matter is easy. As long as he destroys his Dantian, this matter will be over. He Jun said, "In your dreams." Yang Wu coldly replied. Then he said to Qi Inzin, "Principal Qi, don't interfere in this matter. This is between me and them. Those who have nothing to do with this, scram." He Jun shouted. Then he was ready to attack Yang Wu, but he sensed that there were strong warriors coming in their direction. He turned his head and saw the people of Mauname. He immediately frowned and murmured in his heart, "These people are not ordinary. They should be from Mauname." Ziqi shouted from below, "Deacon He, hurry up and cripple him." He Jun didn't respond to Ziqi. His eyes were fixed on the ancient war chariot. Yang Wu and Qi Inzin also looked over, and their expressions sank. "Little Wu, come back quickly." Little Hei's voice rang out in Yang Wu's divine court. Yang Wu hesitated for a moment. He really wanted to go back to the Yang family immediately, but when he thought that his mother was in the house and his father would probably rush over, he instantly made a decision in his heart. He shouted in shock, "If you want to kill me, Yang Wu, just come." After he finished speaking, he quickly rushed out of the city. This time, he moved all 4 of his wings. There was a pair of profound wings and a pair of ice blade wings. He also refined the speed pill from the Chinko in space, and his speed instantly soared to the extreme. No one expected Yang Wu to escape at this time. Ziqi anxiously shouted to He Jun, "Deacon He, hurry up and chase after Yang Wu. Don't let him escape." He Jun didn't even think about it. He immediately chased after Yang Wu. At the same time, Ziqi and the others also got on their mounts and chased after Yang Wu. The people of Mauname, who had just arrived from another direction, immediately realized that the situation had changed. Among them, Song Jing shouted, "Yang Wu has escaped. Let's chase after him." Jilan Yu echoed, "Chase." Yang Wu was already on Maunamae's must-kill list. They had mobilized so many people to come here. How could they allow Yang Wu to escape? Just like this, 2 powerful groups of people chased after Yang Wu at full speed. The crisis of the Yang family was temporarily resolved. These 2 groups of people's target was Yang Wu. The other members of the Yang family were insignificant. In the Yang family, Little He was extremely anxious. It didn't want anything to happen to Yang Wu. If anything happened to Yang Wu, it would also be implicated. When it was about to chase after Yang Wu, it returned to Meng Bingshue's room. She was still digesting the heavenly soul pill. Her condition had improved a lot. It was possible that she could come out at any time. Little He used its spiritual sense to send a message to Meng Bingxue. Yang Wu is in trouble. If you recover, quickly come over and help. After it finished speaking, it rushed out of the Yang family's mansion with a whoosh. Right after Little He left, a large amount of Xian Qi of heaven and earth gathered in Meng Bingshue's room. A strong chill spread out from her room. The temperature in the Yang family's mansion dropped rapidly. Yang Wu's flying speed was very fast. In a few blinks of an eye, he had already landed outside King City. However, he still felt that it was not enough. He crazily urged his Xian Qi to continue flying. He cursed in his heart, "If I don't die this time, I will kill all of them in the future." Yang Wu was very sullen. This was definitely the most sullen and uncomfortable feeling he had ever felt since he got out of the mountain prison. During this period of time, he had experienced many life and death battles. He was very clear about his advantages and disadvantages. Now that he didn't have Meng Bingxue to help him, and the Death War Emperor had just left, there was almost no one around him that he could rely on. He wasn't that arrogant to fight against two transcendent forces. Under such circumstances, he could only run away to ensure the safety of his family. If they were shameless enough to kill his family, he would avenge them in the future no matter what. Besides, he believed that Little He would protect his family for him. Right now, he only had one thought in his mind, and that was to run away as fast and as far as he could. He was like a stray dog, very pitiful. Hijin didn't expect Yang Wu to be so fast. He was careless and let Yang Wu run so far away. He chased after him with all his strength and murmured, "If this kid didn't have a relationship with the Saintess, it would be a good idea to take him as my disciple." What a pity. As a high-level heavenly fish, Hijin's speed was as fast as lightning. Even if Yang Wu used all his strength and had the help of the speed pellet, he still couldn't close the gap between them. "You are fast enough, but you are still going to die," Hijin said and slapped toward Yang Wu. The power of his palm was fierce and blue. Yang Wu couldn't dodge at all. He was slapped down toward the hill below. Bang! Yang Wu's body hit the bottom of the hill, and a cloud of dust immediately flew up. Hijin followed him down like a shadow. His aura locked onto Yang Wu, who was in the deep pit. He stretched out another palm and slapped toward Yang Wu, erasing Yang Wu's last glimmer of hope. Hijin was so powerful that his 2 consecutive slaps had seriously injured Yang Wu. Blood kept spitting out from his mouth, and his spine was almost broken. If it wasn't for his strong physical body, he would have died just like that. When the dust settled, Hijin found that Yang Wu was still alive. He was surprised. "You are still alive? Could it be that you have some kind of defensive technique?" Then he stretched out a claw toward Yang Wu. He wanted to lift Yang Wu up and figure out what kind of technique Yang Wu had to take 2 of his palm strikes without dying. At this moment, Yang Wu's soul eye opened and a beam of soul light shot toward Hijin. Soul eye deprivation. Hijin didn't even have the chance to react. He felt as if his soul was being deprived. His movements stiffened, and his strength quickly dissipated. The soul eye innate skill could directly extinguish the soul. However, it couldn't directly extinguish the soul of a martial artist with a stronger soul force. It could only be taken away from the body. This was the second innate skill of the soul eye. It was also the benefit of cultivating the Soul Control Heart Sutra. Previously, the white-browed Eagle Emperor was also hit by this move of Yang Wu's and almost lost his life. This time, Hijin was caught off guard and was hit by this move of Yang Wu's. There was no way for him to survive. "Die for me." Yang Wu hated Hijin to the bone. The other party had repeatedly tried to kill him. How could he let him go? The ice blade wings flew out quickly and instantly cut off Hijin's head. Hijin didn't understand how he had been killed even when he died. His soul didn't dissipate. He revealed a terrified expression. "How could I be killed? This is impossible." The next moment, he swooped down towards Yang Wu and shouted, "Even if I die, I'll drag you down with me. Do you still have the right to do so? Take it." A urinal appeared in front of Yang Wu. After he shouted, the urinal produced a suction force and sucked He Zhen's soul into it. He Zhen, a high-level heavenly fish from the Purple Night Pavilion, had died. Once this news spread, Yang Wu's name would shock the transcendent world. In the transcendent world, there were many geniuses who could defeat stronger opponents. However, someone like Yang Wu, who could jump so many realms to kill an enemy, was definitely an existence that was as rare as phoenix feathers and scales horns. This time, Yang Wu was very lucky. If He Zhen had been prepared, he wouldn't have died like this. Although Yang Wu was seriously injured, he relied on his self-healing ability and the healing pills in the Qinquan space to quickly heal himself. After he took He Zhen's Qinquan ring, he was ready to escape again. However, the people from Mount Amei had already arrived. Ji Lanyu and Du Lijuan appeared above Yang Wu and looked down at Yang Wu, who was about to escape. Their eyes were full of devastation. "Junior sister, is he Yang Wu?" Du Lijuan asked Ji Lanyu. "Yes, he is Yang Wu," Ji Lanyu said with certainty. Du Lijuan said, "Leave him. I'll take him as my disciple." "Senior sister, he might not be willing even if you want to take him as your disciple. Besides, there's still the Kunlun Saintess," Ji Lanyu reminded. "Where's the Kunlun Saintess?" Du Lijuan asked. She sensed the movements around her to see if there was anyone hiding. "I don't know where she's hiding, but I'm sure she's nearby. Otherwise, how could this person die so quickly? We can't be careless. Yes, let's not worry about this first. Let me ask him if he's willing to be my disciple." Chapter 462. Why did Du Lijuan want to accept Yang Wu as her disciple? Mount Amei mainly accepted female disciples, and male disciples were secondary. This had a lot to do with their founding ancestor. Their founding ancestor was originally a woman, and the supreme, holy book of extinction she cultivated was originally targeted at women. Only women could become the successor of Mount Amei. Even if men cultivated the holy book of extinction, they would not be able to reach the peak. Du Lijuan was an inner sect deacon, and she had the chance to become an elder in the future. Her vision was different from others. Although Yang Wu was not a woman, she was already clear about his situation. Not only was he a heavenly alchemist, but he could also kill a powerhouse in the heavenly fish realm. As long as he was carefully nurtured, his future was limitless. Even if he could not become the successor of Mount Amei's sect leader, he could still become a guardian elder. In addition, Yang Wu had killed He Zhen. She did not think that there was anyone else helping Yang Wu. With this ability, accepting Yang Wu as her disciple was the best choice. Yang Wu was targeted by two women. He did not act blindly without thinking. Instead, he urged the power in his body to quickly heal his injuries, recovering as much as possible. He was preparing for the worst. "Are you willing to be this sovereign's disciple?" Du Lijuan looked down at Yang Wu and asked coldly. Yang Wu replied, "I already have a master. I cannot betray him." It was not that he had not thought of feigning civility, but he was very clear that the two women in front of him were not easy to deceive. If he really deceived them, his family would definitely be implicated, and his fate would be even worse. "Who is your master? Which faction does he belong to?" Du Lijuan asked. Yang Wu was speechless. He did not know who his so-called master was, or where he was. How was he supposed to answer this? Ji Lanyu saw that Yang Wu couldn't answer, so she said from the side, "Yang Wu, don't lie. If you really have a master, how could he not appear to help you? Now you only have one choice, and that is to worship my senior sister as your master. Otherwise, you will die. This time, I am not joking." Yang Wu shook his head and said, "Sirs, why do you always want to make things difficult for me, Yang Wu? In the beginning, it was your people who made things difficult for me, and it was also your people who injured my father. I was only forced to fight back. What's the point of taking me as a disciple? Why don't you let me go? I, Yang Wu, will definitely be grateful to you in the future." At this moment, the ancient chariot of Mount Amei flew over. Song Jing's voice could be heard from afar. "Yang Wu, return my father's life to me." In the next moment, Song Jing flew out from the ancient war chariot. Huan Junbo also rushed out and joined the battle with Song Jing. Soon, Song Jing and Huan Junbo arrived beside Du Li Juan and Ji Lan Yu. Song Jing opened her mouth and said, "Deacon Du, please give me a chance to take revenge. You're not his match," Du Li Juan said coldly. Song Jing was instantly at a loss for words. She was indeed not Yang Wu's match, but she was just putting on an act. There was no need to not give her face. Huan Junbo volunteered, "I'll go kill him." Huan Junbo was defeated by Yang Wu, so he still had a shadow of Yang Wu. However, seeing that Yang Wu was already injured, he still wanted to give it a try. "You don't have to be the first," Du Li Juan said again. It was also at this time that Zi Qi, Tan Mo Fan, and a group of people from the Purple Night Pavilion quickly arrived. When they saw He Zhan's head on the ground, they all revealed an incomparably panicked expression. One of them quickly rushed down and shouted, "Damn it! Who killed senior brother He Zhan?" This person's aura was very imposing, and the power that burst out was very strong. It was also a heavenly fish realm expert hidden in the group. Deacon, he is dead." Zi Qi's body trembled as she said, "It must be them." Tan Mo Fan pointed at the people from Mount Amei and shouted. The heavenly fish realm expert from the Purple Night Pavilion rushed into the sky and faced the people from Mount Amei. He asked, "Speak, did you do this?" This heavenly fish realm expert looked to be around 40 years old. Compared to He Zhan, he was still very young. This heavenly fish realm expert was called Ji Tangping, and he was an outer sect deacon. "You can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want." Ji Lan Yu looked at Ji Tangping and replied, "Here, other than you, there is no one else who can threaten senior brother He Zhan. You still dare to quibble." Ji Tangping did not believe Ji Lan Yu's words at all. He killed him. "If you want to make things difficult for our Mount Amei, you can come at me." Ji Lan Yu pointed at Yang Wu below and replied faintly, "He has the ability to kill my senior brother He Zhan?" Ji Tangping squinted his eyes and glanced at Yang Wu. "Believe it or not," Du Li Juan said coldly from the side. "All right, let me take him down first, then I will properly confront you." After Ji Tangping muttered to himself, he attacked Yang Wu. Regardless of whether Yang Wu was the murderer or not, this matter had started because of Yang Wu. First, he had to take down Yang Wu before making a fuss. When Ji Tangping attacked, Yang Wu wanted to escape again, but he found that he was sealed by Du Li Juan and Ji Lan Yu's power. He instantly understood that the other party wanted to kill him with a borrowed knife. If he did not agree with them, then Ji Tangping would kill him. If he agreed, they might even protect him. Yang Wu had no choice but to secretly curse. "Smelly bitch, in the future, I will not let you have an easy time." Yang Wu had no way to retreat, so he could only fight with Ji Tangping. The emperor's sword appeared in his hand. This sword was the spoils of war from killing Prince Fuan. This sword should have been taken back by the imperial family, but Yang Wu's Qi Jing sword was broken. This emperor's sword was just a replacement. When he held the sword, he attacked Ji Tangping with all his strength. Nameless sword style. This was the sword style he got from Qi Enzin. Even if it was only a sword style, with the help of the sword intent, the power was quite sharp and powerful. Ji Tangping was not an ordinary heavenly fish realm powerhouse. He came from Purple Night Pavilion and practiced heavenly skills. His foundation was very solid. In the face of Yang Wu's sword, he slashed out with his sword. His sword skill was perfect, cutting off the power of Yang Wu's sword on the spot. He thought that after cutting off Yang Wu's sword, he could still fight back against Yang Wu. However, after coming into contact with Yang Wu's sword, he found that the power of Yang Wu's sword was beyond his imagination. The sword intent almost hit him. If it was not for his heavenly scale armor, he would have suffered a loss. So strong. Did he really kill senior brother He Zhan? Ji Tangping exclaimed in his heart. If it was said that Ji Tangping had doubts about whether Yang Wu could kill his senior apprentice brother He Zhan, then his thoughts were now shaken. Just Yang Wu's sword was enough to give an ordinary heavenly fish realm powerhouse a headache. If his senior brother was careless, he might really fall into Yang Wu's trap. Thinking of this, Ji Tangping did not dare to be careless. He raised his battle sword and attacked Yang Wu continuously. Ji Tangping had already cultivated his saber skills to perfection. Even if he did not condense saber intent, his attacks were absolutely flawless, making it difficult for Yang Wu to parry. With Ji Tangping's combat power, it was enough to challenge white-browed Eagle Emperor. This was a person from the transcendent world. He was not someone a mortal world martial artist could compare to. Yang Wu had encountered a strong enemy. He held the Son of Heaven's sword in his hand, but he did not have the corresponding high-level sword techniques to challenge his opponent. He could only be in a state of parrying. Soon, he was slashed a few times by his opponent. His defense was useless as wounds appeared on his body. If this continued, he would definitely lose. Yang Wu repeatedly used the same sword. At most, he could use the 12 wind-chasing swords to counterattack. This was not enough. He pulled out the double-edged three-dragon spear and activated the Yang family spear manual. He fought fiercely with Ji Tangping, but he was still not his opponent's match. Yang Wu was very patient. He mainly wanted to escape, not fight to the death with his opponent. He wanted to protect his own life first. How could Yang Wu become so strong? How is this possible? Ziqi gritted her teeth and thought in disbelief. If her young mistress knew that Yang Wu had become so strong, she would definitely be more determined to be with Yang Wu. This was not something she wanted to see. She felt that Yang Wu was a lowly commoner from the mortal world. How could he be worthy of her young mistress? She had already forgotten that she was once a member of the mortal world. With Ji Tangping's attack, Yang Wu broke away from Du Li Juan and Ji Lanyu's blockade. He used the Son of Heaven's sword to block Ji Tangping's attack and retreated. He took the opportunity to escape again. Yang Wu was injured repeatedly, but he was still able to withstand Ji Tangping's attack and escape quickly. Not many Earthsea Realm Kings could do this. Don't even think about escaping. How could Ji Tangping allow Yang Wu to escape? He shouted and unfolded his profound wings to chase after him. The others also chased after him. They wanted to see Yang Wu's death with their own eyes. Yang Wu's speed was not as fast as before. His injuries could not be healed in a short period of time. Even if he refined a healing pill, it was just a drop in the bucket. Those were injuries caused by a high-level heavenly fish realm expert. If this continues, I'll still be killed. What should I do? Yang Wu was extremely anxious. Ji Tangping chased after him relentlessly. Du Li Juan and Ji Lanyu followed him like shadows. They didn't make a move because they wanted to watch a good show. Yang Wu, stop right now. Otherwise, I'll return to the Great Xia dynasty and slaughter your entire family. Ji Tangping couldn't catch up to Yang Wu and had no choice but to threaten him again. When Yang Wu heard this, he immediately stopped. Ji Tangping furiously slashed at him from behind. Yang Wu narrowly dodged Ji Tangping's attack. He looked at the other party and shouted angrily, "If you have the guts, say that again." "Hee hee, Yang Wu, I'm going to kill your entire family." Ji Tangping sneered. The power of the battle saber in his hand erupted as he slashed with all his strength. He didn't want to give Yang Wu another chance to escape. Thunder crash slash. In an instant, it was as if there were heavenly thunder slashing down at Yang Wu. Chapter 463. In the Purple Heaven Pavilion, many people mainly cultivated Thunder Profound Chi. The destructive power of Thunder Profound Chi was the most terrifying, and as long as one was a living being, it would be difficult for them to withstand it. Ji Tangping no longer held back and used 100% of his battle strength. He activated 2 miles of profound chi of heaven and earth and gathered a thunderclap blade that slashed down towards Yang Wu. The power of this slash was like a bolt of lightning, enough to destroy mountains and split the earth. Du Li Juan and Ji Lanyu looked at Ji Tangping's slash with a serious expression. In their eyes, Ji Tangping's slash was quite threatening, and even they felt a bit of pressure. Could these people be from the Purple Heaven Pavilion? Ji Lanyu asked doubtfully. "It's possible," Du Li Juan replied. After pausing for a moment, she emphasized, "This is our Mount Amaze territory." Her words displayed a strong sense of confidence. They looked at Yang Wu and felt that Yang Wu would not be able to take this slash. Yang Wu did not dodge in the face of this slash. His eyes were filled with a strong killing intent as he shouted, "If you want to kill my entire family, I'll kill you first." Yang Wu entered his most powerful defensive state. He held the Son of Heaven's sword and forcefully took this slash. His Son of Heaven's sword was sent flying out of his hand. Ji Tongping's blade continued to slash down at him. Ji Tangping revealed a sinister expression and said, "Who do you think you are? Go to hell." When Ji Tongping's saber fell, Yang Wu forcefully moved to the side, but his shoulder was still slashed by Ji Tongping's saber. Fresh blood spurted out, and his arm was almost chopped off by this slash. Fortunately, his body had been baptized by the 3 revolutions' little profound pill and the heavenly thunder, and his bones were incomparably hard, allowing him to withstand this slash. Yang Wu's attack wasn't for nothing. His goal was to close the distance between Ji Tangping and himself, so that he could kill Ji Tangping in one fell swoop. Yang Wu gritted his teeth and endured the pain. He activated the Tao of Death and enveloped Ji Tangping within it. The thick death aura robbed Ji Tangping of his life force. At the same time, Ji Tangping felt the fear of death. His body and soul were severely affected at this moment. His defensive power immediately dropped. Yang Wu did not hesitate to kill. His uninjured hand held the double-edged triple dragon spear and pierced through Ji Tongping's body. The people from the Purple Heaven Pavilion and Mountame arrived once again. They stared at the scene with their eyes wide open and their mouths wide open. It was hard for them to believe that Ji Tongping's body would be pierced by Yang Wu, resulting in a situation where both sides were injured. "Quick! Quick! Save Deacon Ji!" Ziqi's entire body trembled as she screamed. The people from the Purple Heaven Pavilion rushed over one after another. Every one of them was an expert of the Earthsea realm. Their combat power was rather impressive. Before they could arrive, Yang Wu was kicked away by Ji Tangping. Ji Tongping's abdomen was pierced, but the vitality of a heavenly fish realm expert was extremely strong. He wouldn't die so easily. Yang Wu was determined to kill Ji Tangping. Even if he had to risk his own life, he had to kill Ji Tangping. All of this was because Ji Tangping had used his family to threaten him. This was something that he absolutely couldn't tolerate. Dragons had reverse scales, and those who touched them would definitely die. The moment Yang Wu was kicked away by Ji Tangping, he pulled out the double-edged triple dragon spear from Ji Tongping's body. The ice-bladed wings turned into sharp blades from his back and slashed towards Ji Tangping. The profound wings could only be used for flight. Basically, it was very difficult for them to be used in battle. However, Yang Wu used the ice-bladed wings instead of the profound wings. The ice-bladed wings were incomparably sharp. It was like a heavenly weapon as it slashed across Ji Tongping's neck. Ji Tangping had just been seriously injured and was still shrouded by the path of death. His reaction speed was greatly reduced. He couldn't dodge in time. The blood vessels in his neck were cut open and blood flowed profusely. He covered his neck and stared at Yang Wu with wide eyes. I don't. He didn't finish his words before he directly stopped breathing. The 2 heavenly fish realm experts of the Purple Heaven Pavilion had fallen. This caused an uproar. "Deacon Ji is dead. We have to avenge him. This little bastard deserves to die. We definitely can't let him go. Chop him into pieces." The people of the Purple Heaven Pavilion were furious. They could also see that Yang Wu's body was seriously injured and his combat strength had greatly decreased. It was a great opportunity to get rid of him. However, in order to prevent Yang Wu from doing anything desperate, they all used long-range attacks. They didn't get close to Yang Wu. In an instant, dozens of powerful Xianxi surrounded Yang Wu and attacked him. The people of Mountame sat on the wall and watched. They didn't interfere in the battle between Yang Wu and the Purple Heaven Pavilion. "Senior sister, you saw it. His combat instincts are very strong," Ji Lanyu said to Du Li Juan. She then said, "If we don't get rid of him, he will definitely become a big problem in the future. This child must be subdued for our own use," Du Li Juan said with certainty. Jilan Yu saw that Du Lijuan had made up her mind and couldn't continue. She didn't think highly of her senior sister. Yang Wu was a tough nut to crack. Song Jing and Huan Junbo were filled with deep hatred. They hoped that Yang Wu would be dismembered by the people of the Purple Heaven Pavilion on the spot. Yang Wu's condition was very bad. Ji Tomping's slash was too deep. Not only was his arm about to be cut off, but also injured his internal organs. These injuries stacked up and caused his combat strength to greatly decrease. In this state, Yang Wu's bloodthirst was aroused. He completely threw caution to the wind and shouted, "If you want me to die, I will drag you down with me." Yang Wu's blood boiled. His Xian Qi was madly drawn out by him. He continuously waved the double-blade, triple dragon spear. The tyrannical power of the Frost Spring Xian Qi blocked most of the attacks from the people of the Purple Heaven Pavilion. He even had the power to break through the encirclement and seriously injure one or two of them. Yang Wu also didn't have a good time. He couldn't move one of his hands. His defensive power had greatly decreased. Kill! Yang Wu's eyes were red with anger. He rushed towards the people of the Purple Heaven Pavilion, activating the Tao of Death. It instantly affected the people of the Purple Heaven Pavilion. Even if their willpower was extraordinary, under the influence of the fear of death, their momentum was rapidly shrinking and their combat strength was greatly reduced. Yang Wu rushed to their side. The double-blade, triple dragon spear shattered the shoulder of one of them and pierced the heart of the other. He didn't hold back at all. The greatest effect of the Tao of Death was to deprive people of their vitality. It made people feel the taste of death. It was a very strange martial art. Yang Wu injured several people in succession. He was also slashed several times by the others. His appearance was extremely tragic. Yang Wu was completely throwing caution to the wind. If it was only the people of the Purple Heaven Pavilion, he could still escape. But with the people of Mount Amei sealing this place, it would be difficult for him to escape alive today. He might as well kill to his heart's content. The double-edged three-dragon spear kept swinging. Under the effect of the Way of Death, it unleashed a very powerful attack. Soon, 7 or 8 people from the Purple Heaven Pavilion fell. At least 3 died, and the others were heavily injured. Ziqi, who had been on the periphery, was scared. She had always thought that killing Yang Wu was as easy as stepping on an ant. Now that she realized that Yang Wu was not an ant, but a fierce tiger, she was at a loss. I must think of a way to kill him. I can't let him live. Ziqi was still determined in her thoughts. Then, she cast her gaze towards the people of Mount Amei and said, "Everyone, please kill Yang Wu. We are from the Purple Heaven Pavilion. As long as you kill Yang Wu, the Purple Heaven Pavilion will definitely reward you generously." Du Lijuan asked, "Are you really from the Purple Heaven Pavilion?" "Yes, we are from the Purple Heaven Pavilion." Ziqi responded and took out a token on her body. This was her disciple token. On one side, there was the symbol of the Purple Heaven Pavilion. "What are you people from the Purple Heaven Pavilion doing in my Mount Amei's territory?" Du Lijuan asked again. Ziqi felt uncomfortable being stared at by Du Lijuan's cold eyes. She quickly lowered her posture and said, "Yang Wu offended the Purple Heaven Pavilion, so they sent us to capture him and bring him back. That's your problem. You can deal with it yourselves." Du Lijuan acted as if it had nothing to do with her. Ziqi was so anxious that she was about to cry. If this continued, her companions would definitely be slaughtered by Yang Wu. At this time, someone from the Purple Heaven Pavilion took out a large net and covered Yang Wu. This net had an extraordinary origin. It was an extraordinary heaven-level silk net. It was specially made from the silk spat out by the heavenly demon spider and was obtained by this person from the Purple Heaven Pavilion. Originally, he did not want to use this trump card, but Yang Wu was too violent. He had no choice but to take it out and succeed in one fell swoop. The moment Yang Wu was captured, the disciples of the Purple Heaven Pavilion all let out a sigh of relief. They felt that Yang Wu would not be able to escape this time. "You killed so many of our brothers. Yang Wu, you deserve more than death." Tan Mo Fan glared at Yang Wu and cursed. "Yeah, the 2 deacons are dead. He has committed a grave sin. Let's kill him with 1,000 cuts," Lu Whiteside said. Just as they were about to kill Yang Wu glanced at the person who caught the net. The soul eye between his eyebrows appeared. A beam of soul light struck the person's forehead. That person's soul was instantly destroyed. He only let out a miserable cry before falling down. Yang Wu immediately rushed out of the large net. He grabbed the large net and threw it at the people from the Purple Heaven Pavilion. This frightened the people from the Purple Heaven Pavilion. They never thought that Yang Wu could still be so fierce. Furthermore, what was up with the soul eye that suddenly appeared between his eyebrows? Yang Wu's eyes were red from killing. He would not show any mercy to them. The large net in his hand trapped one person. His soul eye looked at the others. His soul force invisibly rushed into their foreheads. No one could stop it. Their souls were all erased. One by one, the disciples of the Purple Heaven Pavilion fell from the sky. They were already dead. There were a total of 20 people from the Purple Heaven Pavilion. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 people had died. The only ones still alive were Zi Qi and a few others who were injured. You're a demon. The person caught by Yang Wu's large net looked at Yang Wu's third eye at close range. He trembled as he spoke. Just as Yang Wu was about to kill this person, Jilan Yu finally could not hold back anymore and made her move. Jilan Yu flew high up in the air and slapped a palm at Yang Wu. Yang Wu had no way to dodge. He was once again slapped to the ground. Even if he did not die, he would be seriously injured. Senior sister, this child cannot be left alive. I want to kill him, Jilan Yu said decisively. She wanted to chase after Yang Wu and kill him. At this time, an extremely cold ice chi swept over. A ruthless voice sounded, "If you touch a single hair of his, I'll chop off your dog head." Chapter 464. The voice came out of nowhere. Everyone who heard it felt cold and uncomfortable. It was as if the cold air came from the coldest place. They could not stop it. Jilan Yu looked at the direction of the voice and shouted, "Kunlun Saintus." That's right. It is me. A figure exuding an icy aura charged over at an extremely fast speed. That voice came from afar, and soon, that person appeared in the sky above this part of the world. This was a peerless woman. Her facial features were exquisite and perfect, like an exquisite sculpture without a trace of imperfection. Her skin was as white as snow, as if it could be broken with a light touch. She was dressed in white, and her graceful figure was slender and elegant. Waves of cold air were emitted from her body, as if she was a fairy from the moon. Kunlun Saintus Meng Bing Xue. In the past, she was like a walking corpse, looking lifeless. No matter how beautiful she was, it was impossible for anyone to have the desire to conquer her. Now it was different. After she refined the heavenly soul pill, her soul was finally restored. Her body was glowing with vitality, her face was rosy, and her skin had returned to normal. She still looked a little cold, but she was full of vitality. Her popularity and charm had increased infinitely. There was a little Hay dog on her shoulder. It was Little Hay. It was Little Hay who woke her up before she left the Yang Mansion. Meng Bingxue remembered her past. She was the saintess of Kunlun. She was the one who was killed because of love. She remembered everything in the past. At the same time, she did not forget what had happened recently. When she saw Yang Wu get slapped to the ground by Jilan Yu, she felt like her heart was being cut by a knife. She almost fainted from suffocation. Although her mind was very clear now, and she also understood that she and Yang Wu were together by coincidence, but a shadow had been branded in her heart and could no longer be erased. After Meng Bingxue appeared, her aura suppressed everyone. She did not have time to care about the others. She rushed toward Yang Wu. She was worried that something would happen to Yang Wu. However, Jilan Yu stopped her and said, "Kunlun Saintus." Before she could finish, Meng Bingxue turned into a ghost and rushed over. She raised her hand and slapped her. "Get out of here." Meng Bingxue's aura was shocking. She was as fast as lightning. Jilan Yu did not even have time to react before she was slapped away. Everyone was shocked. Who would have thought a middle-level heavenly fish cultivator could be slapped away so easily? Jilan Yu's face was bleeding. She was in pain. She screamed, "Kunlun Saintus." I will kill you. Meng Bingshue's slap really made Ji Lanyu lose all her face. How could she raise her head in front of her disciple in the future? How dare you? Come. Du Lijuan was much stronger than Ji Lanyu. Her attack was not something an ordinary heavenly fish cultivator could block. Du Lijuan's mind had returned to normal. She was not as stupid as before. She reacted quickly. She grabbed Ji Lanyu and stood in front of the horsetail whisk. Du Lijuan was so scared that she had to withdraw her hand. Let him go. Du Lijuan shouted at Meng Bingxue. Meng Bingshue's response was very rude. She slapped Ji Lanyu again. Ji Lanyu's face was completely ruined. Du Lijuan was infuriated. She no longer paid attention to Ji Lanyu and sent out a palm strike towards Yang Wu. This palm strike was as if the sky was collapsing, wanting to turn Yang Wu into a pool of blood. It had to be said that Du Lijuan's move was very effective. Meng Bingxue threw Ji Lanyu towards Du Lijuan. At the same time, Meng Bingxue also threw out an ice palm to deflect Du Lijuan's attack and prevent Yang Wu from getting hurt. Meng Bingxue quickly moved toward Yang Wu, trying to protect Yang Wu. Du Lijuan could see that Meng Bingxue cared a lot about Yang Wu. After she stabilized Ji Lanyu, she rushed toward Meng Bingxue and said, "Let me see the martial arts of Kunlun." Du Lijuan's horsetail whisk kept whipping at Meng Bingxue. Every whisk turned into thousands of sharp blades and attacked Meng Bingxue. Looking from afar, the sky was full of horsetail whisks. No one could dodge such an attack. Meng Bingxue frowned and slapped out an ice mirror. It blocked all the horsetail whisks. Clank, clank, clank. Countless horsetail whisks hit the ice mirror. Ice crystals splashed everywhere, but the ice mirror was not broken. Meng Bingxue landed on the ground. She looked at Yang Wu's bloody body and her heart ached. Yang Wu weakly opened his eyes. He looked at Meng Bingxue and said, "Don't worry about me. I will be fine soon." Little Hay jumped down from Meng Bingshue's body and barked, "Woof, woof, you're not dead yet." Meng Bingxue did not say anything and pulled Yang Wu out. She wanted to protect Yang Wu and leave. How could Du Lijuan give her this chance? She didn't even bother to speak nonsense. The horsetail whisk had already struck out again. The area within a 1-mile radius was covered by these horsetail whisks. A fierce storm blew in the surroundings. Countless mountain rocks were shattered, and flowers and trees were turned into dust. It was not easy for Meng Bingxue to protect Yang Wu and block the attack at the same time. She was at the same level as Du Lijuan. Her soul had just recovered, so her power was not at its peak yet. It was not easy for her to fight back. Meng Bingxue created an ice mirror to protect herself and Yang Wu as they rushed out of Du Lijuan's attack range. She created an ice sword in her hand and kept slashing. Streams of ice chi broke the horsetail whisks and forced Du Lijuan to step back. Meng Bingxue wanted to leave with Yang Wu, but Du Lijuan was chasing after them. It was hard to get rid of her attacks. Ji Lanyu was also coming. Meng Bingxue tried her best to join hands with Du Lijuan to take down Meng Bingxue. Yang Wu was held in Meng Bingshue's arms. He could feel her body temperature and her anxiety. Even though the connection between them was blurred, he could still feel her concern for him. It did not disappear because of the recovery of his soul. He said, "Bingxue, hang on for a while. When I recover, we will kill them together." Meng Bingxue smiled and said, "Okay, they cannot break my defense." The next moment, she waved her ice sword and turned it into a shield. It blocked Du Lijuan's and Ji Lanyu's attacks. Meng Bingxue was focused on defense. Du Lijuan and Ji Lanyu could not do anything to her. Ji Lanyu attacked with all her might. Every strike of her sword contained an incomparably powerful force, as if she wanted to split the sky apart. When she realized that she had returned empty-handed, she had no choice but to say to Du Lijuan, "Senior sister, don't give them a chance to breathe." "Okay," Du Lijuan answered and then said, "Saintess of Kunlun, try our May Mountain's martial art." Inextricably linked, Du Lijuan changed her attack. The fierce attack turned into a spring rain. The horsetail whisk was like a moisturizing rain. It broke Meng Bingshue's defense layer by layer. Meng Bingshue could not step back in time. Even her sleeves were cut off. Ji Lanyu cooperated with him from the side. She raised her sword, and a strong sword Qi soared into the sky with a trace of sword intent, cutting through the sky and destroying the world of mortals. Do you still think I'm stupid? Meng Bingshue said blandly. The ice sword started to make a buzzing sound. Suddenly, a snowstorm started to blow in the sky. The extremely cold Qi became a powerful force, which merged with the ice sword and slashed out. Snowstorm ice. Meng Bingshue's sword attack was amazing. As the sword moved, the snowstorm raged. The cold Qi froze everything. No one could escape from the cold Qi. Du Lijuan's horsetail whisk was frozen. Ji Lanyu's sword light was frozen in the air. It could not cause any damage. Not only that, the two of them were also affected by the cold Qi. Their blood was not flowing smoothly, so they had to step back. Yang Wu seized this opportunity and crazily stimulated the power in his dantian to further heal his injuries. Once again, he consumed a healing king pill. Only an alchemist like him could eat pills as if they were candy. Faster, faster, Yang Wu shouted in his mind. Only when he recovered faster could he join hands with Meng Bingshue to kill the enemies. Du Lijuan and Ji Lan, you were not going to give him the chance. Du Lijuan had activated her innate talent, which was sonic roar. She opened her mouth and breathed out a horrible sound wave, which rushed toward Meng Bingshue. The air exploded, and the rocks on the ground were all turned into ashes. The people who were watching from afar were all affected by the sound wave and almost passed out. Ji Lanyu also took out her trump card, which was a top-level sky umbrella. Although it was damaged, it was still very powerful. She poured her energy into the umbrella and attacked Meng Bingshue. The sky umbrella kept spinning. The horns on the umbrella were like sharp wheels, breaking the cold Qi of Meng Bingshue. In the blink of an eye, it had arrived in front of Meng Bingshue. Meng Bingshue was attacked by the sound wave. Her blood was boiling inside her body. She tried her best to suppress it. She held her ice sword and attacked the sky umbrella. The sky umbrella was knocked back, but the ice sword in her hand was also broken. Her palm was cut by the power of the umbrella. Again, Du Lijuan shouted. She breathed out the horrible sound wave again, aiming at Meng Bingshue and Yang Wu. Ji Lanyu controlled the sky umbrella. The powerful Xian Qi was rushing toward Meng Bingshue again and again. Meng Bingshue was in full defense mode again. However, she was still blown away by the two attacks. In order not to hurt Yang Wu, she used her own body to block the attack. She spat out a lot of blood on Yang Wu's face. Yang Wu was stimulated by the cold blood. He opened his soul eyes. Kill. Chapter 465. Yang Wu had successfully cultivated the soul guide stage of the Soul Control Heart Sutra. His control over his soul eyes had reached a level where he could freely control them. Although he had consumed a lot of soul power, it was still not at his limit. The divine quartz Dao flower had also increased along with his strength. Meng Bingshue was seriously injured, so it would be strange if he was not angry. His soul, I looked towards Ji Lanyu, and an invisible soul light rushed towards Ji Lanyu's glabella. Ji Lanyu reacted very quickly. She had already prepared for this move of Yang Wu's. She retracted the heavenly soldier umbrella in her hand and blocked in front of her. Her profound qi gathered in the heavenly soldier umbrella, producing a powerful defensive power that blocked Yang Wu's soul eye attack. Is the already exposed trump card still useful? Ji Lanyu sneered in her heart. Yang Wu's attack failed, so he looked at Du Lijuan. Du Lijuan quickly changed her position and dodged Yang Wu's attack. The two Heavenly Fish Realm powerhouses were forced back by Yang Wu, so Meng Bingshue could finally breathe a sigh of relief. Yang Wu said, Bingshue, let me go. We will work together to take them down. While being protected by Meng Bingshue, Yang Wu did his best to recover from his injuries. Although he was not in perfect condition, he was able to share the burden of Meng Bingshue. Are you feeling better? Meng Bingshue asked. No problem. Yang Wu simply replied, "Good, let's kill the enemies together." Meng Bingxue did not hesitate and let go of Yang Wu. The two stood still and faced Du Lijuan and Ji Lanyu together. Du Lijuan and Ji Lanyu showed a dignified expression. They had seen Yang Wu kill He Zhen and Ji Tangping. They could not imagine how Yang Wu could recover so quickly. Was he bluffing? No matter how hard they thought, they could not imagine that Yang Wu had already achieved an immortal body. His self-healing ability could be said to be unparalleled in the world. Yang Wu once again summoned the Son of Heaven's sword. This sword belonged to King Fuwen, but it was refined by Little He. He then dripped his blood essence into it, making it his weapon. Meng Bingxiu made a grabbing motion, and an ice sword appeared in her hand again. It was a sword created by her power. Even though it wasn't a real celestial weapon, it was still as powerful as a celestial sword. Kunlun Saintus, do you really want to be our enemy? Ji Lanyu asked Meng Bingxiu. What a joke. Didn't you want to kill us? Meng Bingxiu asked. You can go. Leave Yang Wu behind. We won't make things difficult for you. Ji Lanyu added, We have already informed Kunlun that you are in Great Xia. I believe someone will come to pick you up very soon. After Meng Bingxiu heard Ji Lanyu's words, her face turned ugly. A memory that she couldn't bear to recall appeared in her mind. She said in a low voice, Let go of Yang Wu. Let's call it quits. Ji Lanyu still wanted to speak, but Du Lijuan said, Don't talk nonsense with them. Let's fight first. In the next moment, she rushed towards Meng Bingxiu again. Ji Lanyu naturally cooperated with her. The celestial umbrella once again emitted a bright light, and a strong killing force fell on Yang Wu. Let them see the power of our joint attack. Yang Wu shouted and took the initiative to attack. Meng Bingxiu gently nodded her head and moved her body gracefully. She held her ice sword and cooperated with Yang Wu. The two of them had a tacit understanding, and their sword intent was connected. Two different sword lights stabbed towards Du Lijuan and Ji Lanyu. The art of setting sun and rising moon. Yang Wu and Meng Bingxiu had practiced this art a few times. Back then, Meng Bingxiu's soul hadn't recovered yet. This time, she was fully recovered. She was in a much better condition than before. The two of them cooperated again, and a strange scene appeared. It was like a sun and a moon were crossing each other. When Yang Wu attacked, the sun was rising. When Meng Bingxiu attacked, the moon was shining. The two of them kept alternating. The sword lights filled the sky, blocking all of Du Lijuan's attacks. At the same time, there were many sword lights crazily attacking Ji Lanyu. Yang Wu and Meng Bingxiu both understood that Ji Lanyu was the weakest one among the enemies. As long as they killed Ji Lanyu first, they would have less pressure. With Meng Bingxiu's power, she could fight against two enemies at the same time. Now that she had Yang Wu's support, her power kept increasing. Ji Lanyu kept retreating. Du Lijuan saw through Yang Wu and Meng Bingxiu's intention, so she roared again. Roar! Her sound wave was powerful. It was like the sound of a tsunami, shaking the entire area. Many clouds were shattered. You want to use the same attack again? No way. Meng Bingxiu had been prepared for Du Lijuan's attack. While she was cooperating with Yang Wu, she used her other hand to condense a thick layer of ice crystals to protect herself and Yang Wu from the sound wave attack. The ice crystals were broken, but the two of them were not affected as much. Du Lijuan seized the chance to attack. She pulled out her horsetail whisk, which was like a long whip. Hundreds of meters of Xian Qi swept across the air, which could cut a mountain in half. She wanted to separate Yang Wu and Meng Bingxiu so that they wouldn't be able to work together. However, as soon as she made her move, Meng Bingxiu's sword had already arrived in front of her. The long ice sword contained an extremely sharp sword intent, which blocked the attack of the horsetail whisk. It was also heading toward Du Lijuan. Du Lijuan didn't have time to dodge it. A big piece of flesh was cut off from her shoulder. The ice chi invaded her body, which made her feel very uncomfortable. She had to step back. Yang Wu chased after her. His Son of Heaven's sword was surrounded by the blue enchantress. The fire was burning toward Du Lijuan's throat. Du Lijuan was scared and stepped back like crazy. If she stepped back a bit slower, she would be severely injured even if she didn't die. She realized that the joint attack of Yang Wu and Meng Bingxue was much more powerful than she had expected. Yang Wu and Meng Bingxue gave up on attacking Ji Lanyu. They attacked Du Lijuan with all their might. Du Lijuan was in a difficult situation. After a few rounds, her heavenly scale armor was broken. Ji Lanyu came back to her senses. She held the heavenly umbrella and attacked again. However, Yang Wu stared at her. She was so scared that she put the umbrella in front of her. She didn't dare to attack anymore. The threat of Yang Wu's third eye was too great. I don't believe I can't do anything to you. Du Lijuan was incomparably aggrieved from the fight. She screamed crazily, and waves of sound waves kept ringing out. The horsetail whisk kept whipping crazily, and streaks of Xian Qi appeared in the sky, stirring up the sky and turning it upside down. Yang Wu and Meng Bingxue had blocked their hearing, but they were still affected. Luckily, they cooperated very well. The two swords combined into one and blocked all of Du Lijuan's attacks. They stabbed toward Du Lijuan's vital parts one after the other. Du Lijuan was desperate. She tried her best to block the attacks, but she was still hurt badly. She was hit twice. She wanted to kill Yang Wu first, but Meng Bingxue blocked all of her attacks. If Ji Lanyu didn't come to help in time, she would have died. She was sweating. She was scared out of her wits. She hadn't felt death like this for many years. Yang Wu and Meng Bingxue changed the direction of their attacks again, and Ji Lanyu was defeated. The two of them cooperated even better. It was like the sun and the moon were shining on each other. The power was endless. The sun-setting moon-rising art was not a heavenly skill. It should be a higher-level combat skill. Ji Lanyu's heavenly umbrella was almost cut out of her hand. She was covered in a layer of ice. Meng Bingxue's sword almost cut her in half. The people around were terrified. Who would have thought that Yang Wu and Meng Bingxue could be so powerful? When Ji Lanyu was about to be killed by Yang Wu and Meng Bingxue, Du Lijuan hurriedly shouted, "Stop! Stop! We surrender." If Ji Lanyu was killed, she wouldn't have the confidence to fight Yang Wu and Meng Bingxue at the same time. The other disciples would also die. She had to surrender to save her and Ji Lanyu's lives. Hearing this, Ji Lanyu hurriedly shouted, "I admit defeat. I admit defeat. Surrender your ass." Yang Wu was furious. Heath and Meng Bingxue were both injured. Now, she thought she could just surrender? He cursed and stabbed Ji Lanyu's chest with his sword. Yang Wu's sword was full of anger. Blue Enchantress was on the tip of the sword. Ji Lanyu's defense couldn't block it. Besides, she was frozen by Meng Bingxue's power. Yang Wu's sword pierced through her chest. Everyone stared fixedly at this scene, and their breathing became incomparably rapid. Was Ji Lanyu really going to die? Du Lijuan wouldn't let that happen. She shouted, "If Sister Ji dies, none of you will be able to escape. A May Mountain will find out the truth." Du Lijuan didn't act rashly. She didn't want to provoke Yang Wu and Meng Bingxue. If that happened, Ji Lanyu would be doomed. Yang Wu was furious. He could kill Ji Lanyu if he used his power again. However, Meng Bingxue stopped him and said, "Wu, don't be impulsive. I want to kill her." Yang Wu's eyes were full of murderous intent. "If she dies, your Yang clan will have no place here. Give her to me," Meng Bingxue said. She then took Ji Lanyu under her control. Yang Wu couldn't resist. Yang Wu calmed down. He didn't want to kill anyone. He wanted to protect his family. If he killed Ji Lanyu, the Yang clan would disappear from the Xia kingdom. It didn't matter how he escaped, but his family definitely wouldn't be able to escape. Yang Wu didn't want that to happen. He didn't have the power to fight against such a powerful force. "She's lucky," Yang Wu said unwillingly. Chapter 466. Outside of the Xia kingdom, in the sky above a barren land, there were many experts of the Earthsea realm and above, standing in the air. No matter where these people went into Xia, they would cause a commotion. Purple Heaven Pavilion, Mount Amei, and Kunlun. It was not easy for the three great powers of the transcendent world to gather together. Today, they had all appeared in the mortal world for a youth from the mortal world. This had caused a series of fierce battles. If news of this spread to the transcendent world, it would probably cause a commotion. The Purple Heaven Pavilion had suffered the greatest loss in this gathering. 2 attendants of the heavenly fish realm had been killed, and more than 10 disciples of the Earthsea realm had died a violent death. The remaining few were considering whether to leave first. Let's go. Zichi originally wanted to see Yang Wu get killed by the people of Mount before leaving. Who would have thought that the people of Mount could not do anything to Yang Wu? Instead, one of them had been captured, shattering her dreams. She had to leave. If she did not leave, Yang Wu would definitely come to settle the score with her. She originally thought that Yang Wu did not have time to care about her. Who knew that Yang Wu's focus had always been on her? How could he let her leave? Zichi, if you dare to leave, I will immediately kill all of you. Yang Wu shouted at Zichi, who was fleeing in the distance. Originally, Yang Wu was already quite far away from Zichi. However, the deterrence of his words was too great. It scared Zichi so much that she stopped on the spot, not daring to move again. The people of Purple Heaven Pavilion also wiped off their cold sweat. They did not think that they would be safe just because they were a little further away from Yang Wu. Yang Wu already had the battle strength to fight against a heavenly fish realm expert. He also had the trump card of fear. They simply could not muster up the courage to challenge Yang Wu. Yang Wu looked at Du Li Juan and said, I will talk about the matter with Mount later. Let me deal with him first. After he finished speaking, he rushed towards Zichi's direction. When Zichi saw Yang Wu rushing over, she was like a bird startled by the twang of a bow. She urged her lightning cat, go, go. At this moment, she did not want to face Yang Wu anymore. She came to show off and did not want to be killed by Yang Wu. She was really afraid of Yang Wu. Who would have thought that in just 2 short years, Yang Wu had already grown to such a level? Even if her miss was hailed as the new generation Sanus, she would not be able to do so, right? But how could Yang Wu let Zichi escape? He quickly stood in front of Zichi and her lightning cat. He didn't even make a move, but he was already able to scare both of them to a halt. Yang Wu, what do you want to do? Let me tell you, I am now a member of the Purple Heaven Pavilion. The Purple Heaven Pavilion is a force that is even stronger than Mount. If you know what's good for you, then let me go. Otherwise, you will cause a lot of trouble. Yang Wu looked at Zichi and asked indifferently, is she all right? Zichi was stunned. She did not expect Yang Wu to ask such a question. She did not react for a moment. Is she well? Yang Wu asked again. This time, Zichi came back to her senses. She quickly nodded and said, She is very well. Did she really call you back? Yang Wu asked again. No. Yes. Yes. Zichi replied incoherently. Yes or no? Yes. Yes. You are lying. Do you believe that I will kill you right now? Yang Wu shouted with a thick killing intent. At the same time, he released a trace of Death Dao aura that enveloped Zichi. Zichi felt the fear of death. Her mind completely collapsed. She changed her words again. No, it was not Miss who called me back. I came back on my own. Viscount Yang Wu, please let me go. You brought so many people back just to make me give up on your miss, right? Yang Wu asked again. Zichi had no choice but to answer. I was also forced. A holy sun in my pavilion has taken a fancy to Mississippi. Many people in the pavilion also support the holy sun. They feel that the holy sun and Miss are a match made in heaven. In the future, they will definitely become cultivation companions. So, before Zichi could finish her words, Yang Wu had already furiously shouted, So, you want to kill me, trample on me, and help your family's holy son and young miss, right? Yang Wu's Tao of death could no longer be suppressed. It completely enveloped Zichi's body. Zichi and the Thunderbolt Cat felt as if they were about to die. Their bodies swayed in the air, and their faces were filled with fear. No one could remain indifferent in the face of death. Let me go. I'm only a messenger. Zichi begged. Yang Wu came back to his senses. He walked up to Zichi and slapped her a dozen times. The sound of the slaps resounded through heaven and earth. He slapped her until her face was red and swollen. Blood flowed from the corner of her mouth. She cried bitterly. Her eyes were filled with hatred. She shouted in her heart, If I don't die today, I'll pay you back tenfold. Scram, tell your holy son that one day I will definitely go to the Purple Heaven Pavilion and take you away. Yang Wu said with incomparable determination. As long as Ziqi's words were not from Ziyu's mouth, it was fine. He believed that she would still be able to uphold the agreement between them. There was only 1 year left until the 3-year agreement. Would she personally come back? Ziqi did not dare to go against Yang Wu. She endured the pain and ran away with her tail between her legs. Yang Wu, you won't have a good death. Deacon He Zhen and Deacon Ji Tangping will not die in vain. She already hated Yang Wu to death in her heart. She swore that when she returned this time, she would bring more powerful deacons and even elders to kill Yang Wu and his family. The people from the Purple Heaven Pavilion who were still alive also ran away immediately. They were afraid that Yang Wu would go back on his words. After the people from the Purple Heaven Pavilion left, Yang Wu returned to Meng Bingshue's side to deal with the matters of Mauname with her. Yang Wu, you better think carefully. If anything happens to my junior sister, you will not be able to live. Du Li Juan threatened again. You still dare to threaten him? Do you believe that I won't twist her head off right now? Meng Bingxue spoke first. Du Li Juan was so angry that her whole body trembled. However, she did not dare to refute. It's easy to let her go. She is not allowed to cause trouble for me and my family for 3 years. Yang Wu looked at Du Li Juan and said slowly, Yang Wu, you killed my father. I will not let you go. Song Jing could not help but jump out and say, You? Yang Wu looked at Song Jing with disdain and said, Deacon Du, don't agree with him. If you give him time, he will become a threat to Mauname. Song Jing suggested to Du Li Juan, So you want Deacon Ji to die? Du Li Juan looked at Song Jing coldly and said, Ji Lanyu was under Meng Bingshue's control and was badly injured. However, it did not mean that she was unconscious. In fact, she was very conscious. Song Jing's words pierced her heart. She cursed in her heart, When I get out, I will not forgive this bitch. Ji Lanyu was not a saint. She did not want to die. Song Jing's words made it clear that she wanted her to die. Song Jing immediately realized that she had said something wrong. She quickly waved her hand and said, No, I did not mean that. I meant, that's enough. Back off. You have no right to speak here. Du Li Juan stopped her, then looked at Yang Wu and said, I can promise you that we won't trouble you for 3 years. You swear? Yang Wu said again. He would not believe Du Li Juan's words so easily. Her eyes were full of killing intent. Du Li Juan was very angry with Yang Wu. However, for Ji Lanyu's life, she gritted her teeth and said, I swear that I will not trouble you for 3 years, Yang Wu. Otherwise, I will be struck by lightning. Good. Bingxue let her go. Yang Wu felt relieved and said to Meng Bingxue. Meng Bingxue did not let her go. She said to Du Li Juan, We have to settle this properly. It is not that easy to get away with hurting us. What do you want? Du Li Juan frowned and asked. Give us something as compensation. Meng Bingxue said. Don't forget that this is Maunamae's territory. Du Li Juan said angrily. So what? I'm not that easy to bully. Okay. What do you want as compensation? Heavenly medicine, heavenly pills, heavenly skills, anything is fine. Don't try to fool me with inferior goods. Du Li Juan was very angry. She wanted to cut Meng Bingxue into pieces. She had never been blackmailed before. If you don't want to give it to me, I will kill her first. Then I will kill them all. I believe they are not as strong as you. Meng Bingxue looked at the disciples of Mauname and said. The disciples of Mauname immediately felt a chill down their spines. They were truly afraid that this peerlessly beautiful woman would suddenly kill them. Kunlun Saintus, do you know that you will make Mauname angry? Du Li Juan said sternly. Are you people from the outer circle qualified to represent Mauname? Meng Bingxue said disdainfully. She paused and said, If you dare to go against us, then you should be prepared to be killed. I do not want to cause trouble, but that does not mean I am easy to bully. Meng Bingxue's arrogant look was really domineering. It shocked the people of Mauname. Du Li Juan was very angry. However, she did not have any backup plan to suppress Meng Bingxue and Yang Wu. She could only throw out 2 heavenly medicine and ask Meng Bingxue to let them go. This time, Meng Bingxue did not push her. She threw Jilan Yu back to Du Lijuan. Jilan Yu was severely injured. Her body was frozen. She had almost lost her ability to fight. Du Lijuan glared at Meng Bingxue and Yang Wu. Then, she grabbed Jilan Yu and flew toward the ancient chariot. She shouted, "Let's go!" Just as the ancient chariot was about to fly away, someone rode a flying beast and flew toward them quickly. "Lords of Maunamei, please don't leave. The imperial edict is here." A voice called out. The people on the flying beast were the principal of the royal college, Qi Inzan, and the empress, Tang Xiaoan. "What imperial edict? Get the hell out of here!" Du Lijuan was very angry. How could she care about the imperial edict of a small kingdom? "My lords, please don't be angry. This is the imperial edict of our royal family. Please take it." Qi Inzan smiled faintly. Then he raised something in his hand into the air. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. Chapter 467. An imperial edict was the decree of the emperor in the mortal world. Such an imperial edict was not binding to the people of the supernatural world at all. In their eyes, an imperial edict was a decree written by a saint. Only then could it be called an imperial edict. The people of Maunamei did not care about the imperial edict of the Xia kingdom at all. The Xia kingdom was still under their jurisdiction. It was already good enough that they did not issue an imperial edict to the Xia kingdom. How would the Xia kingdom dare to issue an imperial edict to them? This time, the Xia kingdom had unexpectedly issued an imperial edict to them. Just as they showed their disdain, the imperial edict emitted an immeasurable amount of holy light, shocking everyone. The holy light was dazzling and the aura was astonishing. It was as if a saint had descended, frightening everyone present. They all realized that this imperial edict was not ordinary. The power of the imperial edict shrouded one person. That person was the empress of the Xia kingdom, Tang Xiaoan. Tang Xiaohan's temperament became extraordinary after she was supported by this power. She stepped out from the bird and held an ancient imperial edict in her hand. She spoke in an emotionless voice, "Disciples of Maunamei, listen to my orders. I am the saint of the Tang clan. The Xia kingdom is the foundation of the Tang clan. You should abide by the rules of the 2 worlds and not interfere. The daughter of the Tang clan has inherited the throne of the Tang clan. You should not make things difficult for her. If you do, I will definitely punish you. I hope you will know what to do. Otherwise, I will take good care of you." She paused for a moment and continued. "Yang Wu is the prince of the Xia kingdom. He has done meritorious deeds by protecting the emperor. You should not make things difficult for him. Also, the disciples of the Xia kingdom who have passed the selection should be brought to Maunamei to cultivate." Tang Xiaohan's consciousness merged with the imperial edict. Half of it was the will of the saint of the Tang clan, and the other half was her own thoughts. This imperial edict carried the bloodline of the saint of the Tang clan. It resonated with her bloodline, which was why she was compatible with the imperial edict. This was also the secret of the imperial edict that Tang Xiaohan only discovered after entering the forbidden area of the royal family. The disciples of Maunamei did not know whether to believe it or not. They could feel the holy qi emanating from Tang Xiaohan's body, which made them feel very extraordinary. However, they did not feel the power of a saint suppressing them. They were still full of doubts. They all looked at Du Lijuan. She was the one who made the decision. Du Lijuan bowed to Tang Xiaohan and said, "Deacon Du Lijuan of Maunamei obeys the imperial edict." The disciples of Maunamei had no choice but to follow her and salute Tang Xiaohan. They didn't dare to doubt Du Lijuan's decision. "Yes, go and lead the waiting disciples to Maunamei," Tang Xiaohan said. Du Lijuan shouted in response. Then, she quickly left with the disciples of Maunamei. After they left, Tang Xiaohan closed the imperial edict. The holy power disappeared instantly, and she fell from the sky. Qi Inzan hurriedly urged the birds to catch Tang Xiaohan, not letting her fall. Yang Wu was very touched. He could see that Tang Xiaoan used the royal family's trump card for him, temporarily eliminating the hidden danger of Mount May. He flew towards her and said, "Thank you, Your Majesty, for your help." Even if he and Meng Bingxue had made Mount May compromise, it was only temporary. Mount May would definitely think of ways to take revenge. Tang Xiaoan's imperial edict was really timely. At least it made the people of Mount May more restrained. They would definitely not cause trouble for him in a short period of time. Tang Xiaoan showed an ashamed expression and said, "I still came late." "No, you came just in time," Yang Wu replied. He paused for a moment and said, "Your Majesty, you should go back to the palace first. I will go to the palace to see the emperor after I recover. Come with me to the palace to heal," Tang Xiaohan said with incomparable concern. Her feelings for Yang Wu had deepened. Even if Yang Wu had an outstanding woman by his side, she was not afraid of competition. She could already feel the power of her bloodline recovering. She would definitely become stronger and be able to give Yang Wu the best help. She would not be a burden anymore. Yang Wu smiled bitterly and said, "Your Majesty the Empress, I can't go on like this in my current state. Moreover, you still have to deal with those people from Mount May. Everything should be based on the overall situation. I'll be able to recover very soon." Tang Xiaoan looked at Meng Bingxue and said with a trace of unwillingness, "Then come back soon. I will wait for you in the palace." She did not dawdle and returned to the palace with Qi Yinzhen. In the distance, Huan Junbo asked Du Li Juan in confusion, "Deacon Du, is that imperial edict real?" Du Li Juan could not give face to Song Jing, but she still had to give face to Huan Junbo. She said in a deep voice, "It can't be fake. How can this be? How can a small empire have a real imperial edict?" Huan Junbo was very confused. To be able to sit on the land of an empire, there must be at least one of our Mount May's sage elders behind the scenes. It might belong to the descendants of the sage elders, or it might belong to someone who has a relationship with our elders. This is also why our transcendental realm cannot interfere with the affairs of the mortal world. Otherwise, those sage elders would stand out to support their descendants, and the two realms would be in chaos. Du Li Juan said coldly. At this moment, all the disciples of Mount May were enlightened. They all understood why the power of the country could do whatever they wanted in each empire, but they were forbidden from interfering with the internal affairs of each empire. The imperial family of Xia once had a sage, and this sage might have a deep relationship with Mount May. He might even be their senior. No matter what, the imperial family of Xia could not be easily offended. Otherwise, if the sage was angry, no one could withstand it. Are we just going to let this matter go like this? Song Jing said with dissatisfaction. If we don't make a move, it doesn't mean that Purple Heaven Pavilion won't make a move. It doesn't mean that Kunlun won't make a move. If they make a move, the Yang clan will disappear. Du Li Juan said again. She then said, "We don't care about this matter anymore. Take the selected disciples of the Xia back to the sect." In a barren mountain, Yang Wu and Meng Bingxue were both in recovery mode. They had consumed a lot of energy in the battle with Du Li Juan and Ji Lanyu. Their injuries were also quite serious, so they needed to recover in time. Yang Wu's recovery speed was very fast, but Meng Bingxue was even faster. Before he had fully recovered, Meng Bingxue had already recovered 70 to 80%. She quietly looked at Yang Wu sitting down, her beautiful eyes rippling with a complicated expression. When Yang Wu recovered, he found that she was looking at him without blinking. His old face blushed, and he shyly said, "Bingxue, why are you looking at me like that? Is there a flower on my face?" Meng Bingxue was no longer the Meng Bingxue from before. She was like a high and mighty saintess. Her temperament was outstanding, flawless, and her aura was very strong. Yang Wu was a bit nervous facing her. He didn't know what kind of person she would become after she recovered. "There is a flower on your face," Meng Bingxue seriously replied. Yang Wu quickly touched his face. Meng Bingxue immediately smiled like a flower. Yang Wu was stunned. This time it was Meng Bingxue's turn to ask, "Why are you looking at me like that?" "Bingxue, you are so beautiful." Yang Wu replied sluggishly. Which woman didn't like to be praised? Meng Bingxue was no exception. However, another person's shadow appeared in her mind, causing her incomparable pain in her heart. Shui, you are so beautiful. Even a moon in the sky is not as beautiful as you. Shui, as long as you smile at me every day, I would even be willing to lose 10 years of my life. Shui, you smell so good. I am so happy every moment when I am with you. I only want to spend the rest of my life with you. That man was very handsome, and his words were very beautiful. No matter which woman it was, they couldn't resist such an attack, and gradually fell into his arms. Yang Wu saw that Meng Bingshue's face became ugly, and a trace of the scene flashed in his mind. He couldn't help but sigh and said, Bingxue, don't think about the past anymore. Everything is starting over now, isn't it? Meng Bingxue stood up. She put on a forced smile and said, Yes, it is starting over. It is time for me to wake up from my dream. Yang Wu felt that the connection between him and Meng Bingxue had been cut off. She had already controlled her soul power very well. She didn't let Yang Wu peek in her mind anymore. He felt a bit sad. He knew that she was going to leave soon. Although Yang Wu had prepared himself for this, he still didn't know what to say. He didn't want Meng Bingxue to leave him. Since the day they met, they had been connected. Even if Meng Bingxue cut off the connection between her and Yang Wu, it couldn't be erased. Meng Bingxue broke the silence and said, You have offended Mauname and the Purple Cloud Pavilion. They will not let you go easily. You have to leave this place. Where can I go if I leave this place? Where can my family go? Yang Wu replied, Go to the transcendental world. That place is vast and boundless. The Xian-Qi of heaven and earth is abundant. There are all kinds of spiritual items. I believe that after you go there, you will become the target of many forces. In the future, you will become a saint. At that time, no one will dare to do anything to you. Meng Bingxue suggested, I will go to the transcendental world, but not now. Yang Wu replied with certainty. He paused for a moment and asked, Can you tell me more about the Purple Cloud Pavilion? For him, he wanted to know more about the Purple Cloud Pavilion. He wanted to know where the person he loved was. In the future, he would take her out. The 1 palace, 2 monasteries, 3 halls for islands, 5 mountains, 6 gates, and 7 sects represent the strongest factions in the transcendental world. The Purple Firmament Palace is one of the 3 halls and is a behemoth in the transcendental world. The people you have killed are only marginal figures in their palace. It's nothing much. If they were to use their powerful forces, even Mauname would not be able to protect you. Meng Bingxue said sincerely. She paused for a moment and looked seriously at Yang Wu. Then she said, Come with me. Yang Wu was stunned for a moment. Then he recovered and said with a smile, Bingxue, thank you. But I can't go with you.